right, we are recording. Thank you everybody for being here. Today is June 28th, 2024, 10:19 a.m. Galt time, my friend. GALT for Galapagos. And we're doing our Deadman strategy session number 7, I believe, which is quite impressive. Yeah, we've had 7 sessions up to this point. No, this is number 6? Number 6? Okay. And they're only going to get more squeezed as we get closer and people start maybe feeling the pressure or the urgency of needing to be here. And so I thank you for doing this ahead of time, because when the time actually comes and people are feeling that pressure of what the hell do I do when I'm actually in the game mode, if they've never played it before, for example, I'm just going to have to be like, look, we did these sessions. You were very aware. Here's the recordings. If you need help, go there, because I'm too focused on the game. When we're, especially at the starting days, I won't be able to talk too much because I'm going to be focused on managing multiple accounts. It's going to be hard. So thanks for being here, taking some of that pressure off and allowing me to help you. So what would you like to know from your standpoint of having watched the YouTube video, maybe seeing a thing or two here or there inside of the server, based on your current understanding?
Yeah, so I watched the YouTube video and I've seen um, two of the videos that are in the announcements channel.
Damn, dude, you did all you did all of the
Or
research you
I've
could.
I watched all of it, man. I'm super fucking invested. I'm like, I really want to have a good time this Deadman, and you guys seem like a good group, and you have a plan, which I really appreciate because I played a lot of DMM back in the day when it was the Wild West of, you run South LMB and fight people at frogs. So I haven't
That's
actually
actually a
played
thing.
and then
That's wild.
yeah. Yeah, me and my friends would just PK at the frogs and then because we were all really bad and we would just also back then especially it was clan man mode. Like if you were not in a big clan, you couldn't go to like for example, clans would just lock off quest locations and you literally could not progress past that location unless you were in the clan. So it was just like, me and a couple of guys, and we're like, all right, well, we can't win this game mode, but we can have fun playing Deadman. So
Oh. Okay, so what you're saying is there were teams that would stop you from completing a quest.
correct. Back in the day, it's like the big quests, like Desert Treasure, Legends Quest.
I see. They would hold
I'm
down
trying
the
to think
fort.
of some of the other ones.
I get
Yes,
it.
they would literally like the big clans would literally lock down specific like doorways,
Fuck.
which would like a lot of the times it was like a stall.
Right.
So if you were to go through, you would get insta like piled, and so you literally could not progress past certain checkpoints if that clan was there. And so that it was kind of interesting, like cool to see the strategy, right? But if you're just you and a couple of your friends, it's literally impossible to play, right? So yeah, we were relegated to just kind of running around the map, the safe, mostly near the safe locations. And then every step you took further into the danger, you felt horrified. You're like, what if rot just shows up and wipes us? So yeah, so that's why I really appreciate you guys having kind of a strategy for at least the early game because I didn't play Apocalypse, so you guys, some of you guys did, and particularly you, Michael, you actually did, and you came up with a strategy after
You learned my name
going through
somehow.
it. Your YouTube channel, the other YouTube channel.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I don't know if I doxed you. You can cut that part out.
No, 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 it's fine.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm excited to play with you guys, and to bring it back to your question originally of what questions we have. Um, so I guess one thing I did notice was like breach strategy. Of the videos I've seen, I didn't really see how much you're planning to participate in breaches and like which breaches. Do you have an answer for that?
Probably as many as we can.
Okay.
I mean, when it comes to breach strategy, I haven't really put together a strategy for that, but I have put together a document that says all the old locations. Here's where the breaches come in. Here's the nearest teleports to get there. Here's where you can potentially escape, and I think that's basically the most important things. You know, how to get there immediately, how to escape, and are there any specific things you need to know about this location? Like, is it multi or is it single? I have that so that people at least have the information so they are ready to make the next decision. But what I don't have is how are we going to approach this? Are we going to group together and kill this monster? Or are we going to fight them single and spread out? No, I don't have that. So that's worth having a conversation about.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was curious about because, depending on how many people we have, it might be better for us to stick to the singles breaches, but if we do have, 10 to 15 people, I think it may be a reasonable expectation, at least for the first couple days.
Yeah.
That would be awesome, and we might be able to, at that point, participate in some of the breaches. And I watched, I don't know if you guys watched it. Do you guys watch the DMM All Stars?
Mm-hmm. That was fun.
Yeah, it was super, super fun. And I feel like we could glean a little bit of strategy from that as far as like how to handle the micro of the breaches of, you know, using the terrain as best you can. For example, like sticking in tree lines and
Right.
having like one or two people mostly calling which monsters you're hitting, when to barrage. I think that would be kind of good stuff to discuss. But that's I think stuff that we can discuss closer and more in real time, right? Like, you know, for certain breaches, there's probably only going to be a couple people online, depending on what time it is. So we'll probably stick to singles for those. But I think it would be cool to at least try to participate in some of the multi breaches if we do have a lot of people on.
Right. Most definitely. It's a good idea. Besides, the chances of you actually getting kills in multi breaches are higher for some reason. Like even if you're going in as a single person, depending on how populated the world is, I actually did well there. But the problem is getting attacked, and that's a lot harder as a single person in multi. So it does give you some good strategy. I'm glad you were able to glean that from the information there. So we can do something like that. It it does depend on who shows up for sure. So one of the things that's kind of hard with the community that I have here is that I haven't had consistent events for quite some time. And so it's like trying to get them actively involved in something is a lot harder because they're not used to announcements or information or me being passionate about sharing something to get them inspired to take action. And so what we'll see is when people start to come in, they'll start to come in. But as far as the consistency in people showing up for meetings like this, there are some, but the coordination and consistency needs more work. And so I'm hoping that this Deadman mode is what's going to help set that in motion for the actual clan itself. Because it's been a while. I went through a split with my clan, and that was hard to deal with. And that was the most active Discord members in my clan that left. So I have to basically, get people involved in doing things together again, and not just being a sort of casual, informal event group, but actually having scheduled events is something new. So when it comes to us coordinating all of that and doing it together, everything will be a process and experience that we'll learn from each other from. But we will probably see a lot more people when the thing actually starts, and then their first time experiencing DMM, then they're going to be excited, and then they're going to be like, oh, what's next, what's next, what's next? And so I'm just imagining the numbers for that will be higher once we start versus these people who are showing up in preparation. They're definitely going to have an upper hand, and they may even be some of the team leaders when it comes to that. So, yeah, thanks for being here once again. Um, did you want to discuss how we can do that right now?
Not particularly, just to kind of open that idea.
Yeah, it is a good thing to talk about. But I think it's also one of the things that we would talk about when we actually are in the moment of it, because how could we strategize it right now unless we actually have the breach? You know, we can
Yeah,
say,
that's kind
hey,
of
we're gonna
exactly how
go
I
on the
feel. Where like,
trips, and yeah,
um, it like I said, it depends a lot on how many people we have, right? Because that can
right,
change how we want to, like if we only have 5 people, let's say, um, we
same.
probably want to be a little bit more PVM focused, and maybe we like stick to a corner and just kind of try to hit as many bosses as we can while staying safe. But
Mm,
if we've got 15 to 20 people, we might be able to, you know, kind of dictate the pace of a breach, right? Like if somebody, if people's like
right.
it's multi, we might be able to force people out, right? Just with our sheer numbers. So yeah, that's like I said, it's probably something to bring up more close to the actual event and then the later sessions. But I was just curious because in the videos I had seen, I don't think we had addressed if we were even going to go to the breaches or not. So yeah, that makes me excited. Fun.
Yeah, yeah, of course. We're not gonna miss that, bro. That's like such a big thing. But on the lower bracket, we may be able to do it too. It's just your account. If you were to do any of that, you would need to have protection prayers, because otherwise you'll get wiped out. So
For sure.
if you were to make alts on the lower brackets, if you wanted to attend breaches, you would need prayers. And they have like a multiplier on the drop rates for that too. It's just not as high, but you can do 2 breaches at a time on separate accounts. Like you can have an alt and the main, and you can do it. Um,
Yeah, it's a good idea.
there have been people who have done that. I haven't done it before, but there have been people and like, oh yeah, it's no problem. I'm like, okay, well, it's probably no problem.
Yeah, that's something
If
I
we
didn't
have a
even think
larger amount of
about.
people, we'll probably survive and escape too. So shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, like if even just, like you said in the low level breaches, just get protection prayers, bring a couple of, crossbows out, try to just
The
get some DPS down.
the huge thing though is preparation. If you don't have information and you don't know what to do when this breach comes in, you'll forget the teleport and you'll forget how to be able to use this mind talisman on the mind altar to be able to escape, and then you'll die potentially or trying to escape. And it'll save a life and it'll save you a lot of trouble if you actually are prepared with the knowledge at hand. So that's why I'm doing all this.
So did you in one of the other sessions, at least maybe it's uploaded, but like you said, unlisted somewhere. Did you go over? You said you went over the previous breach locations and kind of some escape tactics like that.
Yeah, so there are 14 old breach locations only from my memory that I can deduce. I didn't review any videos, but it seemed like I captured all of them. And the thing is that the wiki doesn't show it. The actual news posts don't show it. So you literally had to have been there to know what those locations are. It was more like in the news post, we will have breaches and they will be at these 3 time zones. And then they didn't tell you where they were going to be. And in the most recent first look news post, they're like, we'll have last year's breaches, but we'll also have new ones. Here are the new ones. And they actually tell you. So we strategized for the old ones from Deadman Apocalypse. And it's actually the longest video we did, maybe 2.5 hours. But yeah, we went over that and we figured out what the escapes were and stuff and things that might help with that. So there's a document for that, and we can add to it for the new ones if you want to go over that in a call.
Yeah, we could do that. I haven't done any prep for that, so maybe next week. I mean, that's something that I would be interested in reviewing because I do think there's a lot of opportunity in the regional breaches that like clan man mode is not going to be able to run, right? Like if there's so many breaches across the region, they're going to have to spread their numbers out, even the bigger clans, right? So that'll have opportunity for us to actually capitalize on, like, maybe we have an area completely to ourselves, which would be like crazy, right? Really good chance at getting a high loot drop. Because that's kind of the idea, right? Am I correct in that? There's going to be breaches spread out over like all of the desert.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
it's, I'm not certain, but I think it's 30 spawn locations and 10 spawns. So there's only going to be 10 monsters on the field at any time, which is kind of
Okay.
low. But yeah, we can take advantage of that somehow.
Okay. So I see. Do you know, do they mention if, like, for example, so when you kill a monster at one of the 30 locations, is it then going to spawn randomly at one of the other 30?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
fine.
I understand now. Okay, that definitely changes my perception a little bit, but still,
Well,
it'll
if
be
we're
cool.
if
It'll
we're
be it'll be really exciting.
if we're a running distance away and we've got, let's just say, 5 to 10 of these spawns, we're going to be able to move in and close in on this one monster if we can team on the monster.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Yeah,
possible.
let's go over that next week, and we can kind of maybe come up with some ideas for different locations.
Sure thing. Sounds like your time crunch is on your mind.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's mostly, yeah. It's right now I'm only probably today only able to really kind of just go over discussion stuff, but then this week will give me time to, like, maybe actually sit down with the map and do the micro of, for example, in the desert, like, which area of the desert would we want to try to patrol type
Yeah,
thing.
I believe Clockchop posted the Deadman multi combat map. It's inside of sign up. Yeah, he did. So if you want to see it, it's there. He reposted it. I posted it, but inside of the DMM sign up page,
Got it.
it's there. So you can download that if you want to, and you can
Yep.
see the red zones are multi combat. Anywhere where it's not green is not a safe zone, so you can get attacked. And then sometimes the green and the red layer over top of each other, where it's a safe zone and multi combat, like Falador, for example. So you can take a look.
Gotcha.
Climber,
Hey, what's going on?
what's up, dude? Do you have anything you wanted to talk about?
Um, I had some questions, but I don't recall them right at the moment.
Okay.
I plan on making a list of write down my questions and then so I can bring them up. Nothing that really fits right in right in with what we're talking about right now, but
Sure thing.
yeah, I definitely want to do that. Um, One thing that occurred to me is that there ought to be a way to tell where the breaches might be. Like, surely they wouldn't be a real out of the way place. Like, maybe there be like at a place you might expect, or the kind of place that the other breaches are at. If you get what I'm saying, like there'll be some way to tell where they might be.
For regionals? Because honestly, I don't get what you're saying. To anticipate where they spawn, where the breach locations
Yeah,
will be held, which one?
yeah, where they spawn, I guess. The ones that are at an unknown location right now.
That is the problem. Is that it's basically categorically random, based on 30 spawn locations across an entire region. So that's why it's unique. maybe we'll figure it out once we start, getting active in it and seeing what's going on. But it'll take a little while for any communities to get the hang of that. So, predetermining where they spawn is less likely, but it's a
Quick
possibility.
follow up to that. Yeah, so I was actually that. I mean, that kind of maybe I'm misunderstanding, but for example, like in the wilderness, there's a couple of bigger locations. Like you've got the Boneyard, the Lava Dragon Isle. So are you kind of thinking, like for example, in the desert, there might be like right outside of Narda or right outside of um, I don't know. I actually haven't gone to the desert that much, but is that kind of what you're getting at? That we might be able to like guess where some of the hot spot locations will be, or
I just thought that they might not like happen in a random corner, but like at like a crossroads or around something big, like around a like a notable feature on the map, or
Mhm.
something like that.
And maybe part of the strategy for these regional breaches that we could do is so since we don't know where the 30 spawns are going to be, correct on that? Okay. If that's the case, then maybe we could identify within certain regions. We probably want to stick somewhere around the edge, not right against the wall, but like we want to pick maybe a corner where we cannot be like easily attacked without seeing them coming first, and then maybe identify some areas that have escapes in those, I guess, like safer areas. Because in the middle, I assume that's probably the most dangerous. Like if you were to just run around straight up the middle of the desert, you risk getting pinched by clans in
Four
multiple, like
four
all four
different teams.
directions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you having watched DMM All Stars, that helps a lot.
Yes, for sure. So I'm thinking like like for next week, maybe I'll try to come up with some maybe looking at some of the regions, come up with like an area for each of the regions that we might want to try to work on based on the types of escapes or the geography of the region that we might be able to take advantage of. Like maybe in certain regions, there's like a spot where you you have like a nice tree line, and then you're like up against a wall, so that you can't get flanked. But then there's an escape close enough nearby that you're never really in danger unless you get really stacked out. Something like that would be kind of cool, and then we could pick some of the regions to go through for that.
But might be quite interesting for that are the Project Rebalance agility shortcut changes, because they removed a bunch of diary requirements. For example, you can now, as soon as you have 66 agility, go to the desert from Numbered Swamp, just like a stepping stone down to the Calphite layer. So at least returning players might not know about this.
It's a stepping stone versus a mithril grapple now?
No, the Mithril Grapple is over the River Lam to Alcarid.
Lumbered Swamp takes you where?
Directly to the Calphite layer.
To where?
To KQ.
Calphite Queen.
Yeah. Or at least the entrance to the cave.
So you skip Shantay Pass. And maybe
Exactly. And
maybe
I
you
see on the
want
map
to
that in
leave.
front of Shantay Pass is a multi-zone, so you probably want to do that.
Oh wow, yeah, you could literally just run straight from the safe zone in Lumbridge down south, and you're already in KQ area, and then you could take that south, and you could probably get to like a pretty solid location. Yeah, things like that are super helpful because I haven't been playing as much recently, so I have missed some of those changes.
Clock. You've mentioned this multiple times. Can you get a write up, if you don't mind, of some of those special locations that they have new agility shortcuts for?
I
Things we
can
might
probably look it up, yeah.
not automatically recognize on the map, but just happens to be there now. Yeah,
I mean,
you can even copy the information from the news post or something.
the most important thing they've done is removing requirements, especially diary requirements.
Yeah.
Um,
Diary requirements. Okay.
wait, where should I send you that?
Just DM it to me. Or you can put it inside a Deadman chat. That's probably better. Do it inside a Deadman chat. Not DMM sign up, Deadman, because you signed up already.
Yep.
Yeah. And so it's interesting because you've thrown out, let's talk about this next week, but it kind of feels like we're talking about it this week.
Yeah, well now I'm getting into it and it's fun.
Like the majority of
But yeah,
this call has been talking about that. So maybe we should go into it. I don't know.
sure, yeah, we can go into it a little bit. I was just mostly following up on Climber's question. You know, I didn't want him to. I wanted to make sure he, you know, his remark got like fully fleshed out. Yeah, just making sure on that. But yeah, we can go into the breaches a little bit more. Get some time.
Sure thing. Let me pause the recording, pull up the windows, and make sure I have everything in order first. Here with that, it shows it like it's a pause sign, but it doesn't show it as if you need to play again to hit record. It's a little funny. Yeah, I kind of don't like how low this camera is. It needs to be up high. But I don't want it to be intrusive for the monitor, so I don't know how I'll manage that. It's a little weird. A little weird. I don't want to be looking around the camera either. I'll think about it. Okay. So, I'm going to share my screen. You see, I have to look around to see the share screen button. And with that, before I do, I want to open up Clock's DMs. Got it. That's a lot of shortcuts. 11 new shortcuts. Okay. Let me actually just go into the Discord channel for that. Cool. Alright. I'm going to share my screen here. And so what we have here is the Deadman multi-combat map. Anything in red is multi-combat. Anything green is a safe zone. Anything in between is dangerous, just not multi-combat. So we have this. We have Clock Chop's update on agility shortcuts, which may be worth taking a look at, finding the exact locations for. And then we also have last time's session where we went over the actual breaches, the locations where they start at, and some of the teleports to get there. And if we could, we also added some escapes. For example, actually, all of these are the new locations. So we haven't gone over these, but the other ones we have. So
So I was thinking something that I would like to do maybe if there isn't already something like this is maybe take that world map and kind of combine basically like kind of overlay a lot of the shortcuts or escapes that we could utilize.
sure, if you
So
want to
that
do that.
way,
I'm not
yeah,
good
that's
with
something I'll
working
probably do on
with
my own free time, and I can bring it back to you.
yeah, I'm not really good with working with the artwork and trying to do things on top of it.
Neither am I, not at all. But I think it would be really valuable for us to be able to see a map that has, if we're looking at like the regions and we see like, oh, well, it's going to be in this region, we see a breach is going to be in this region, we can take a look at the map and kind of at a glance be able to tell like, okay, well, there's a shortcut here that most people aren't going to have. And then there's also another escape nearby, and so we can use that. Like, okay, we'll go in through the agility shortcut, and then we can use the escape. Things go badly.
Right.
And it would also be generally just like a super helpful map to have for traversing the map, not just for breaches. But let's say you're questing, right? And having that map near you when you're plotting out kind of your path for your quest will make you feel a lot more comfortable about the terrain, how to navigate it, and then while also being able to simultaneously see the multi zones and like how you can maybe get around that.
Yeah. A little more complicated, but yes. Some of the
For
things that are
sure.
really helpful are experience and not just knowledge about it. But
Definitely.
it is easy to see certain landmarks like this, for example, the windmill in Ardoin next to the fishing guild. If we were to zoom in on Ardoin and find the fishing guild, you see the windmill icons right there. So you would know, oh, the ladder here is actually an escape from the breach that is right here. So things like that, we've put in some. I'm sure we can think up other escapes to make this a little bit better. But as far as this is concerned, it'll need a second look if we want to go through that.
Yeah.
But
I
some,
think,
some
I
of
don't
these
know.
have
Yeah. At least
escapes
personally for me,
or the
I think
later
it would be
half.
really valuable to have like all of that, or not all of it, but maybe the big ones at least transposed onto the map just for like you said, if you have the experience and you kind of know that, that's good, but not everybody does, including myself, right? Like this is stuff that I'm trying to learn ahead of time so that I don't get stuck out in the open in Ardone and forget that there's a windmill there when I could have like before I TP'd in for the breach, I could have looked at the map and seen, oh, like that's the kind of the area I want to kind of stick to.
Got it.
So that's just something I'm going to do for myself, and then I'll share it with you guys because I know it'll be valuable for other people too.
Okay. So it looks to me like there are 6 locations that have not had an actual escape plan for them in these old locations. So before we go into trying to do the new ones, let's just go over those real quick so you have a general understanding of what it was that was planned and intended, so you know, okay, this is what we'll be writing now while strategizing this. So we have the north of Falador by the statue in multi. And all these are multi-combat zones, actually, I believe. So Falador, right here, north by the statue. So like this whole area right here is a breach. And so the best teleports to get there are the Falador teleport, the hot air balloon to Taverley right here. Oh shit. Double clicking is not a good thing to do. In fact, it makes it less zoomed in rather than more. But this hot air balloon here is potentially useful to not go straight into multi. But then again, you do have a safe zone in the bank. And a combat bracelet to the Ardoin Monastery, which is right here. So, how would we escape from this? Any ideas? The best one just to run to Falador, probably?
If the Falador entrance is blocked, there is a Mithril grapple shortcut over the wall.
The problem with Mithril grapple shortcuts, right here, I see that, is that it stalls the animation. You can still take damage during.
Yeah, fair.
So in other words, they can pile more damage on you. It may not be multi, but you can still die.
Okay, where do the monsters spawn in that area? Right at the statue, or?
So there's a statue right
Without?
here. They spawn in this location here to the east of it.
So you can cheese it from the Dwarven Mine entrance, basically, with a long-range weapon.
No,
Too far away.
too far
Okay.
away. Yeah, that's really far away. You would have to go past 2 fences. Plus, telegraphing What if you miss your telegram, bro? You can't. It's out of reach. You know, this it's kind of crazy, but like, I was reading Tarn's diary. You know Tarn's diary from Mauritania?
Yeah.
And the people in there were like traversing through the swamp. And they're like, it's taken us, 2 days to get through the swamp, and we've lost our food supplies. And meanwhile, it takes you 30 seconds. So you kind of have to imagine, like, each tile is supposed to be much more expansive of the actual grasp on your size of the region than what you're actually playing. I'm glad they make it smaller, but some things aren't meant to be so close together.
Hmm.
I thought that
So
was
one
kind of
thing,
interesting when I was reading that.
yeah, that is pretty funny. Um, one thing that so definitely if you can get to Falador, which is the safe zone from the south, that's good. I am a little bit worried about the choke points there. Um, just like for example, like also if you were to go like west and try to go up towards Taverley, like that's like a not exactly a super choke point, but like your pathing will probably funnel you into that doorway. Um, are you saying that's like an escape route right there,
Uh,
No,
essentially?
this is
Also, that's a
actually
door.
the most
If it's
common route
closed, you
that
get
people
stalled.
use. Sorry, let me finish saying and then I'll let you speak. This is actually the most common route that people use for the breach that spawns right here. And then the mind
Mm,
altar is the best escape, which is right here. So you'd use a mind talisman or a mind tiara and escape right here. And it's singles. This is the only singles breach in the wilderness. Everything else is multi. So that's why it's kind of
gotcha.
crazy. But, you can run up this way. It just means you'd have to go up here and this way. So, and there's a lot of the trees help you escape when you freeze off people as well. But these two pathways are where people would generally come from, unless they're coming from, like, Berthorpe, for example. They have a games necklace and they use the agility shortcut here, and that would actually be better, right? But, yeah. They could also take a burning amulet from here and run south. But most people will
I,
probably do Falador because there's a bank there.
I kind of like the monastery teleport into like running west, like taking the mountain and then kind of wrapping around. I'm not sure how like exact that multi-marker is, but you could like monastery and then run west. It might be a little bit too slow, but um,
You also
depending
have
on
to
like how
understand that
dangerous it is.
when a breach actually happens and people are running toward it, if people attack you, they should be expecting not to get a kill. You're full of supplies. So it's kind of
True.
stupid to do that. So you
Hmm.
needing to worry about that is very minimal. They'll probably do it if you don't have any gear, though. Like you're in rags. Maybe they'll try and KO you, but still, the likelihood is very minimal. So when I'm running up here, I only got attacked like once by some dumb person, and you know, it's really not as big of a problem as you would imagine. The problem is
Yeah,
when you're actually in combat and most of your supplies are drained, and then they get on you.
I see.
So that's what you have to be more
Um,
concerned about. But planning all the
okay,
pre stuff there isn't really necessary, I don't think.
gotcha.
Like, where do you run from here? The longer route is not going to make the most sense. The shortest route is. So long as you're
Makes sense.
banked and geared, yeah, this would probably be the best. But that means you lose an inventory slot. So you have to make a choice.
True. So I guess back to the Falador thing. So let's see. So you were talking about
Escapes.
establishing what the best escape would be. Yeah. So if you get attacked and you're not Scold, if you can make it to Falador, that's good.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do
The
wonder, like,
stall is
if you
yeah.
do end up Scold, where do you go after that?
Right. Clock. What were you trying to say as well? Sorry, I interrupted you.
Just saying, if you're on the upper path, there is also the body altar, relatively close next to the Barbarian village. It's
The other path, the what altar?
not the mind altar, the body altar.
Where's that?
Next to Barbarian Village, between Dwarven Mine and Barbarian Village, basically. South of the monastery.
South of the monastery. The mind altar.
Right there.
Oh wow, that's really good to know. Because like, I mean, it's a little bit far, but if we're playing maybe the like northeast area of the breach, that could be something worth noting. That is pretty far.
Yeah, it's enough to get killed.
Yeah.
Like, it's enough to get like 6 freezes.
Your supplies
6
might
freezes
drain,
off
yeah.
for somebody to freeze you for what? Each freeze is 25 seconds. Yeah,
20 seconds.
they can get a lot of damage off. So I'll write it down, but it's one of the later things to do. But it is an option.
Technically, if
So
you're really lucky, there could spawn a Puro entrance in the wheat field south of Doric's hut. But
South of the
it's
what?
not reliable.
yeah, we're not gonna rely on
Oh yeah.
We're not
That
gonna
would be
rely
so
on
funny.
the body altar. Let's see. Northwest.
But I mean, otherwise you're pretty much in an open field there. I don't really see a better escape route. I mean, outside of Falador, of course.
Yeah, I think my main thing is I mean, like I said, I didn't play Apocalypse, but if I was to be planning, again, without my knowledge of what happened in Apocalypse, but I did watch All Stars, and I do feel like there is value in coming into the breach from a way that you're probably not going to get pinched. And for example, the Falador entrance, maybe you can speak to this, Michael, but I assume there's a lot of people there, right? Like that's probably where like a significant clump of the people are trying to stay safe.
Yeah, in multi, you do tend to have more fights. It's pretty annoying. You do get attacked. So, I would teleport in from the monastery in Apocalypse, and I would still get killed. Like fully
Really?
KO'd. But I was a pure. I was, 50 to 70 combat bracket, and I didn't do much, in between that to be able to say I have experience in the higher brackets. So, like, it was very easy for me to die. So, right here, I would imagine is even worse than coming from this direction.
Hmm.
So yeah, it is worth keeping in mind. Multi is a shit show, really. So who knows? Maybe coming from this direction, from the
Yeah,
monastery.
even though Barbarian Village is multi, like if it's safer, like if there's less people there because it's multi, that might actually be safer than the more like I
Well,
guess quote unquote safe route that
well,
is more travel.
yeah. For travel, nobody's gonna be here. The
Yeah,
the, the
the
big
questions
point
are how do you
is
get to Barbarian Village, right?
the big
I mean,
point is you can literally walk off past the multi line and not have any issues. Versus up here, the monsters are spawning down here, so you can't just run back. You're still gonna get multi on your way there.
Yeah,
So this is
that's why I
actually
do
the
think
safer
southeast
spot
is really.
to approach from, because you're
the
also
question is,
not
do you
dealing with
approach from Falador?
having to
Like, do
get.
you
Yeah,
actually
you.
take the shortcut and go like over the wall with the merge grapple and approach from the side, or do you teleport to Barbarian Village? But that would need a Skull Scepter or something like that.
No, you would.
So we could
You would use your
probably
monastery
probably
portal.
scout. We could probably scout the grapple spot, and then also, is there like a southeastern Falador exit? Too. Like, could we wrap around Falador? I know it's slower, but I don't know. Like,
Well,
I don't have a ton
Mugshot,
of
you
experience.
probably have the best idea. Best ideas combined. We'll probably use the Mithril Grapple. You just have to eat up all the way before you use it. Otherwise, you might have
I
an
mean,
issue.
not as an escape route, as an entrance route.
Yeah, yeah, but also as a potential escape. Like if you're here in singles, and you've already been bodied over here, but you come out here and someone still wants to pursue you, where do you go? This is the closest. If there is a best approach to being in between singles and multi for this breach, it would be from the east, right here. Because you can just step out into singles and not have 5 people on you. So right here, holding this line is going to be the most valuable out of any location here, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. So then you can use this to escape as well. So actually bringing a mithril grapple is helpful. And it's also somewhat close to a bank, too. So, like,
You can go back, yeah.
this is the optimal way to approach this breach, is how I look at it. So, continue what you were saying. Sorry to interrupt.
Me?
Clock.
Oh,
Yeah, if you don't want to use a grapple, it would be interesting to note that there is a really thin line below Barbarian Village Multizone, where you can probably go through singles if you try to escape.
Yeah, that is.
yeah, that's kind of what I was maybe thinking about as a like potentially if we look at the mithril grapple spot and it looks like somebody is camping it, we could just go around. But then you still run into the person camping it, but then you avoid getting stacked out or whatever. But it's only one person, so it's not like you're gonna get completely giga stacked out unless they have like crazy spec weapons and they also hit really high.
They might be able to get 2.5 to 3 bolts on you. So,
Okay, so that is dangerous.
yeah. So, like, if they have a special weapon, that's a problem. And they have spec. But you also have to keep in mind they have sigils, too. So, you would literally
True.
want to eat up and brew over.
Gotcha. So are there any other breach locations that we want to go over, like
Yeah,
that
we'll
maybe we
do
don't
that.
have
I
answers for?
just have to type this in, and my brain's a little slow this morning.
Sure, no problem.
Best escape is through using the mithril grapple on the northeastern Falador wall. Additionally, it can be used as an entrance with a crossbow and a mithril grapple equipped. This is important. The bank,
True, we need the grapple.
the Falador East Bank is close as well. For duration trips. The body altar northwest of the Barbarian Village is another alternate. Although not recommended. They'll probably off you by that point, or maybe not. Honestly, I need to add more information for this one. Be sure to eat to full and brew over your hit points before using the grapple, as there is a significant animation stall where a player can stack damage onto you before succeeding in climbing over. I haven't put the strategy in on many of these things, but I will say the strategy for this breach is to approach it from the east and control the divide between singles and multi. There we go. Alright, next one. Hosidius Beach, south of the Vinery. This is a very odd location. You actually saw this one in DMM All-Stars. Is there anything anybody else wanted to add here? Because we only have 2 escapes max.
No, it's kind of I feel like self-explanatory, right? Like if you're unscolded, you just go south and you get back in Falador. However you can, and then worst case you have the body alter escape if you think that's an option. But otherwise, you're just trying to like use the. Are there trees nearby? Maybe trying to just like
Oh yeah, there's
yeah.
plenty of trees.
Yep.
There's so many trees.
Yeah. So yeah. Otherwise, you're just trying to if you're trying to escape, just try to like actually outplay the person attacking.
Good. Scold and no scold is important.
Yeah, especially near the multi-line where you might like we might be forced to like barrage a clump in multi, and then you get skulled off of that, and then you're like, oh fuck, I can't go to Falador. What do I do? You just like try to use the trees, or if you think to bring a body, whatever talisman,
It'll probably be
then
helpful to literally bring a ring of dueling every time.
for sure.
Every time you do a breach, just because you can bank at Castle Wars. Castle Wars is one of those places like Edgeville, though, where there's always people trying to kill you. So, it's not the best bank. You could do Ferox Enclave as well, but you can't use the pool of refreshment. So just like in general, having a ring of dueling is going to be helpful because it's unsafe banks that you can use immediately with one item slot. So you can do that. If you are skulled, we can have
And yeah, and theoretically, you should be able to bank tank for a decent amount of time.
yeah, and you can literally use noted items on. I believe you can do it on chests as well, but you can use it on bankers, so you can have 1,000 sharks in your inventory, and just use the notes, and then press yes on your keyboard and get all those items between getting attacked. Hopefully you've frozen somebody off before that. I think that increases your chances of succeeding. Alright, so we're at Hasidius. Right here is what we saw during DMM All-Stars. It was actually there last year. I died here too, so like, it's not the best, but when you actually understand that the multi-line is just the beach, it's much more helpful. But yes, once again, they will be spawning here at the beach. So what is the best strategy for this one? We will teleport in using the minecart here. No doubt about it. We'll have teleports for that. And we'll come in this way. This is actually a trip to Crabclaw Isle, which we won't use. That would be cool, though, if you could do it from a distance and attack here. That would be cool. But
So one thing that I saw, I don't know if you saw this, but Solo Missions team at one point was camping the very southern tip next to that
yeah,
boat.
and then Dino.
So do you know if you're able to actually take that in combat?
I don't know. There might be a right-click quick travel. Do you want to check it out for us?
Yeah, I can investigate. Let me get some notes up so I can.
Wait, what do you mean they are
It does
taking
cost
the southern
money.
tip?
What did you say, Quat?
What do you mean by that? If you're able to travel there?
So I heard from the All Stars
I'm
players.
gonna POE do this.
Sure. So you see that the boat, or I guess the travel icon at the southern tip of the beach?
Yeah, that's the boat to reply.
Yeah. So I think I heard people mentioning that you could use that as an escape.
Yeah, it costs 10k GP though to use it.
Okay.
I think. Never took it.
Yeah, that's one where I'll take a look and see what the behavior is there. Because what that allowed them to do was, since all of the clans were sticking to the singles to multi-line, nobody wanted to actually go deep into the beach at risk of getting piled, right? But if you get to that southern tip, you can basically just play there, and then if somebody tries to jump on you, you just take the boat, assuming it lets you take the boat in combat. So then you could get like like they were able to farm like a lot of the monsters because the only monsters people were willing to fight were the ones near the single multi-line. So like half of the monsters solo missions team was just farming.
Can you
Yeah, that's a
legitimately
good idea.
confirm that they use the boat though, or is that just a
No, that's what that's what I'm gonna do. Is like double check and see did they actually use it, and can you actually
All
like
right.
could you actually if they didn't?
So something I need is somebody who's actually got a Deadman mode account where we can go and do these test the escapes for like, can you use the mind alter talisman without it counting as a teleport? Can you use a boat and talk to an NPC to travel without it being considered a teleport where you have to wait, you know? Like all those things for escapes, they're speculative. We don't have a confirmation on it, but it is kind of the best odds if you can do it.
I mean,
So if anybody actually has a Deadman account who maybe played in previous years, it would be great to do that.
I don't have one, but PvP worlds should work, right?
No.
Okay.
They have different mechanics, I think. Like you can TP instantly on a PvP world, cannot
Okay.
in DMM. But I am gonna make a DMM account to just get my bearings with the map. So that's something that I can do for sure. And if somebody else wants to also, even all I would need is just somebody else to attack me. They can literally be like a level 3 so long as they can get to the area that I'm in. Just like hit me and make sure that, test the teleport stuff out. So yeah, I'll definitely be doing that.
Okay. The
All right then. I
only
guess we
problem
can
I
do
see with
review.
that plan is that it just came up in All Stars.
What?
You want to see the plan about
No,
the boat?
the only problem I see with the boat plan is that it just came up in All Stars. So did you
Oh,
know
so other
about it?
people might do it. Yeah.
Did they actually legitimately use it though, or talk about it?
The only thing I remember is that it was talked about, and I don't think they actually used it. I think they ended up just running north, or actually, I think they ran east because they got into a fight. But even if that is the case, we'll be able to scout that out pretty quickly. Like I think it'll be like kind of an adaptation that we make where probably the like we could run with like a default idea of maybe playing the west side of the line and that bank over by the charcoal burners. Um, we could be using that as like kind of our base, and then as we approach the breach and like kind of see what it looks like, if there's nobody else using that strategy, we could use it, right? And then if we see somebody else using the strategy, maybe we just back off and play a little bit safer.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and that's part of the dynamics of we'll see. We'll actually deal with it in the situation, but I feel like it's good that you brought it up to like talk about maybe some potential options in case other people also have the same idea we have.
Yeah, so that's a decent idea. If it works. Again, all speculative. But doing this is good. It's just it's a multi-bank, so people
Hmm.
like really smart people would literally camp this and protect and defend
True.
it because they
Yeah,
know.
I think the bank is probably more dangerous actually than the teleport maybe because that was kind of a thing that people didn't realize in All Stars, but will definitely be on the tryhards of DMM's minds. Is that bank is going to be huge if
Yeah,
they can control it.
I
So
never
that
made
might
it
just be
that far,
completely off limits.
so I died here. I never got to the bank trip.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Here's a ladder though, so that's worth considering. Singles escapes if you can enter through this doorway. I think you
Hmm.
can because it's not a part of the minigame once you actually leave through the door, so you can use this ladder to escape. I mean, there's plenty of
Gotcha.
trees, but if you wanted a more guaranteed way of escaping if from a short run, that could be it.
For sure.
It's really interesting though how this little patch here is multi. Like, why?
Is that a entrance, like a dungeon
No,
entrance or
no,
something?
no. Just like Hosidius says these weird things, like the cow pen up here, multi. The cabbage and onion patches here, multi. I don't know why.
It is.
Very important.
But it's actually very fascinating how many multi zones, if you look at it, Courant has. that could be taken advantage of if you know the area. Like, there's a
Yeah,
lot.
Kourend looks like the most like probably the biggest opportunity to catch people unexpectedly being in multi. Like I was like even just like you said, when I looked at this map the first time I was like, holy shit, why is that multi? You know? And like people are not gonna realize all like look at like Lovakend, right? Like all those little like buildings, like maybe there's a quest or an item that a lot of people will be going for and you might be able to catch one in there.
I mean, the woodcutting guild is multi. You can probably catch people on the redwoods.
Yeah. I'm starting a Deadman Trello board for myself so I can track all this stuff.
Yep, we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm
So,
super excited.
let's get back to this though.
Yep.
So here's all the teleports to get there. There's a fairy ring here. Teleport to house is right here. You can take advantage of that. Xeric's talisman to the glade is right here. You can see my mouse, right, when I'm doing this?
Yep.
Yep.
Koret's memoirs to the minecart for South Osidius, right here. This is the best. Koret's memoirs to the lunch by the Anciliums. This is getting further. Right here. And then Koret's memoirs to the minecart of West, which is right here. So, Fairy Ring is, for some reason, the most useful that I put because you have the opportunity to have Fairy Rings unlocked, but you also have a little rock that you one-click, and then you can teleport to wherever you want to go. Actually, you probably two-click it. Pulls up a menu, which you can teleport here, versus having to use Koret's Memoirs to teleport here and then do a run. It might be more immediate because it'll be in your inventory already, so you don't have to bank for that. That's why that's number one. Number two is you may use teleport to house often, so you can run there. Number three is do that little run and then show up here. Xeric's Talisman to the Glade. It should be before that, to be honest. So
Yeah, I'm thinking
as far as-
personally, I feel like the biggest thing for this breach is the area that as a team we're gonna go from singles to multi. Because like you said, there's like a ladder right there. There's a lot of trees. There's a lot of things you can do as a singles player to kind of stay alive or escape.
you said it was
So I'm not really
10,000
too
coins, right?
sorry. Yeah, 10,000.
Okay.
Um,
If you have
and
achievement diary, it's
so
better, but we'll just not include that for now.
yeah. Like you said though,
Holy
so
shit, it is
singles
a
it's like
crab claw. That's cool.
yeah, it is.
Clock, can you actually
Yeah,
look
so
up what the price is for the diary and which part of the diary lowers it?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Go on.
yeah, so I think generally the singles area is pretty. I'm not too worried about getting there because I think we all should be okay to survive in the singles. I think the biggest thing is we should just plan where we would like to try to enter breach, and then we'll adjust. You know, come day of, we can adjust which area we actually go to.
Yeah, so we're gonna we learned something from previous views of DMM All Stars is that approaching it from the east renders you out of distance range, so that they don't see you on the southern peninsula.
Okay.
So we'll probably approach it from a different direction, out of sight, out of mind, either over here or over here. And from there we'll move and stay in multi, out of reach, which is right here. And that'll probably be the best way to play it because there's so many monsters. It's just, you're going to get bodied by the monsters too, so
Also, you just have no escape route as soon as you're down there. You're literally cornered.
Yeah, it's pretty
so
scary.
maybe we'll be over here. Who knows?
By the way, it's 10k normally. It gets free for the medium diary.
Ooh, that's cool.
No, there's no
I could.
cheaper price for easy.
Nope.
Okay.
So maybe that's like a couple days in thing. Knock that out, but kind of like a side priority.
It doesn't really matter. We'll do the easy one, but yeah, we don't need mediums potentially. It depends on what are you doing? Fishing anglerfish? Is that why you want the mediums? Like for the higher percentage rate of doubling, which are already going to be tripling anyways. Some things might just not be worth it. So, yeah, this is probably the best escape. It's just, yes, you are blocked off here. It is a short run, but it's about the same distance as the singles. So whether or not we use this is up for debate. There's no trees. It's like a desert out here, so it's the most dangerous place you can be. There's no obstacles you can lock people around. So yes, it is highly dangerous.
But if you can get there, you're probably not going to be attacked because anybody that wants to attack you has to run through all of the bosses, and they are now in no man's land. It's a very high risk, high reward spot. I feel like
Yeah, but there will also be more people and more coordinated people as well than DMM All Stars.
for
So
sure, for sure.
it'll be interesting. Look at this though. You see this tree? It reminds me of the Japanese A sign. Ah, just kind of backwards written. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh
There's a character.
oh, AI.
There's a character in Japanese, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anything
Yeah,
else you want to add to
yeah.
this? As for
No, I feel like this one is going to be like a day of thing where we just kind of adjust based on how it looks.
yeah, I don't really see any great escapes unless you can use this fucking minecart. If you can use the minecart, then cool. Mid talk. Yeah, that might be possible. This might be the best escape, and by that time we'll probably have that unlocked for free. So
I mean, it still opens a submenu. If you get attacked, that normally kicks you out of stuff like that, right? It opens the submenu, so to choose your location.
Yeah, you just pick any. You literally push any button.
Yeah, but if you get attacked, stuff like that closes most of the times, right?
Yeah, that's if if you're not fast enough. But typically you can still access your
Sure.
bank. It's just if you're not skilled and you're trying to do it and they have a 3-tick weapon, it's much harder. But you can still get the food out. It might be a trip for somebody who's inexperienced with that, but you can still get it. So that might be possible too. You just right click travel and then push 1 through 10, something like that, and you go anywhere and you'll be safe. So that might be better than the Crab Claw Isle one. It depends. But you stay in multi for the boat, so kind of have to think about that. But yeah, that's what we got for that one. Thank you. All right, south of the Chaos Altar. Now here's the other dangerous parts. The wilderness. You know what I don't like? This place doesn't have a name, and this place does, but which one is which? Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you think this one's the Chaos Altar, and it's not. You think the other one's the temple, and it's not. It's a little confusing to me. But we'll put this as the temple, just because. Less than level 13 Wilderness Multi. Burning Amulet to teleport in there. Ferox Enclave, which makes sense. Burning Amulet will take you here. Ferox Enclave, you run from here to here. The Ring of Dueling Varrock teleport, you literally have to run from Varrock, which... Oh, jeez. And they'll even be spawning right here. So like, right here you can attack them from right here. It'll be all right here though. And dig site, teleport, hot air balloon. You know, these are okay. They're not very good, but teleport from here and hot air balloons right here. That's the best I could think of. If you think of anything else, let me know. And there is another a secondary prayer altar right here. So on your way you can recover that.
Where are the
use the pools of refreshment during DMM.
Gotcha. Where are the where did you say the breaches were mostly spawning? Like on the map?
Right here.
I really like
And the map is now updated to have a bridge, by the way.
Yep. I really like the to the southeast coming in from like the lumberyard. Just because it's like less likely that you're going to run into a team there, and I think maybe I'm not sure if you'd agree with this, but like the most dangerous, like the biggest thing is not the singles path that gets you there, but the path that you enter from multi. Because that's where the damage can be the biggest.
I understand.
So anything we can do to mitigate the place that we enter multi from, so that we're very like able to kind of safely enter and assess the situation. I feel like coming in from like the lumberyard is going to give us the most success.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I didn't actually see anybody doing that. So the strategy, let me just write for Jose Diaz. Strategy is to enter from the coastline to the east or to the southwest between the bank and hug the edge of the coast while in super danger, doing high DPS and multi on the monsters. Okay, so for this one, hot air balloon is possible. You would just need a ring of dueling and to have already completed that quest. Not necessarily that the teleport is needed, but it is a good, you have a very good point. Where you come in from is highly important. Obviously, if you teleport in here, people might be camping it. They might not, depending on whether they want to kill you or whether they want to fight here and kill you here. But you could literally,
But so you
could literally
have to
get
consider this is
by a whole team
the
right
zombie
here.
pirates are there, right?
They're not a bother for this breach. They're over here.
Not for the breach, but people might be farming them anyway.
Yeah, but not during the time of the breach. They'll leave. They'll likely leave, unless they're bots.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They're probably, unless they're actually just brain off, but pretty unlikely. And if
the thing about breaches is you either avoid them or you do them. You do content that other people would do, that you can get done while they're doing breaches, basically. Because other people's attention is on the breach. So if there's a really heavily camped quest location, then you would want to do it then.
yeah, that's a really good idea.
So you sacrifice one chance for another, basically. So, yeah, highly critical areas you don't want to come in from. You're right. I think the east is good because some people will literally come in from the Grand Exchange because that's a very common teleport. But not optimal. Obviously, that's a long run. Even more than Varrock, probably, potentially. But the eastern side is a good idea, so I will write that down. What would you say for escapes, though?
That's a good question. I'm not sure there really is a good escape here, other than logging out behind trees.
Are there any altars for rune crafting here? by chance?
I don't think so. I'm not entirely sure where the Chaos Altar is.
I think the Chaos Altar is out west by
Yeah,
the.
that's over by the scorpions and the skeletons. It's
Yeah.
over by the bandit camp, south of that, for sure.
There was a building with a ladder, like halfway to Varrock's Enclave, but it's quite away.
Yeah. If we're playing from the east, probably I think our strategy would be mostly fighting and staying together as a team, and then using the trees if you get into. So there's trees up to the northeast, and using the trees to escape.
Yeah, it's all multi.
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of committed if we're doing this breach. We're committed to
And
fighting together and then leaving together.
or crossing the wilderness line, like literally.
True. Yeah. If you can get to the wilderness line, that's awesome. So one thing I just saw when you brought up that map is, if we go towards the northeast a little bit, we have the tree line not too far away. It might be too far away in practicality based on where the mob spawns are, but it could be something to consider.
So
So like if we're
we'll
like,
definitely use the trees. We'll definitely use the
okay.
trees.
Okay. Nothing really to do with the escape route, but just a technical question. If you don't complete Priest in Peril and you run into Mauritania from the wilderness, you will get hit
Priest
by the
in
monk.
Peril is automatically unlocked. First part.
Ah, god damn it.
Wait, you can go to Mauritania from the wilderness?
Pretty much next to the Slayer Tower, I think.
No, this is separate. They did it in a battle royale. They just chilled here before the finale where they would have to fight here. And this whole area is separate. It's like a
Yes.
mountain or a cliffside. You can't really walk down.
The question is if it technically counts to Mauritania and you get kicked out if you don't have Priest in Peril completed. Because that would be next level escape, but if you say it's auto-completed, then it isn't relevant anyway.
Right. Yeah. It's cool though. This is all still considered the wilderness. So like literally, if we wanted to group up, well, it doesn't make sense to group up ahead of time and show up here because the breach is 15 minutes. You know, you can't plan where it's gonna be. But this is a cool place to chill.
Yeah, that could be.
I like how this looks like a dragon. Yeah, I don't think there's much strategy as for an escape here, other than crossing the wilderness line, using the trees to your advantage, or using the trees here to your advantage to go around. But it's multi, so you're gonna get attacked by multiple people. The best thing you can do is cross the wilderness line. It's gonna be better than running east. It's gonna be better than running any of these other directions. So straight into singles, freeze somebody, go around a tree, teleport. Like that's your best bet.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, as we go deeper into the wilderness ones from the old locations, it's all going to be like this because they're all multi. So everything we're talking about, these 6 locations that we're talking about, you know, most of them are like this. So the Boneyard south of the Wilderness Chaos Dwarves. Right here. Here's the Chaos Dwarves where the white is. They're going to spawn here. We already saw it. They basically spawn right here. So
these
DMM
cave
All-Stars,
entrances,
we can
are these the single variants?
What?
These cave entrances are to the boss layers, right?
Yes,
and this is a Slayer cave. These 2, I believe. This is a boss.
Is this a single version of a boss? So do you need the diary to get in there, or
this is the skeleton boss, I believe.
Multi-bosses up here.
Multi-boss? Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
So you can probably escape into that.
Here.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Skeleton, but that's what's here. So
I mean, it says Boneyard. That's pretty much skeleton, right?
Funny thing is, this doesn't actually show up on the real world map. The word Boneyard. Like
Yeah, it was funny. People didn't know what it was talking about.
They don't show up. You know? Chaos Temple, it doesn't display as the Chaos Temple, I don't think. But, yeah. So, our best escape is to come over here to singles. I mean, like, legitimately, if you can do that. It's a long run, but our strongest advantage would be to hide in these trees close to singles versus being in these trees. You know, running
Sure.
through all this shit just to get into a Slayer cave, which is also going to be in multi, is not going to help you. We saw Dino die when he entered.
The
So,
Okay, it's quite far off, but to the north, at the lava dragons, the shortcut can be accessed from level 74 onwards.
True.
So
and people won't be there because of the breaches. Yeah. I'll write that down.
Yeah, I think either one works, honestly. If we want to maybe try to play the singles line, that's fine. And then if we want to use the Lava Dragon Isles as an escape, that's also a good idea.
the singles line is just way closer.
Yeah. But if everyone is playing the singles line, we could, like, day of, it could be like an adaptation that we go north and we play
Right.
we just play the agility shortcut. So that's a really good point to bring.
Control the trees closest to the singles line by the ruins.
The biggest thing that, like you said, it's going to be completely unpredictable the day of. Like, it's possible we get there and like, some other clan does the exact same thing and they just have more people and then we're just like screwed. So sometimes that's going to happen. So it's good if we can establish multiple options. That'll be good.
Right.
But yeah, like having like at least a primary plan with a backup plan will be in a good spot. And then if it's screwed, then we just go. Like we just leave. Some breaches I think are just going to be, personally, my opinion is some of the breaches are a little bit too risky to like fully commit to. And if it looks bad, we can just go do something else because it's, missing one breach is not the end of the world. If it means
It's
not
4 a
getting
day. It's
wiped.
crazy.
I know. And like realistically, I don't know, maybe I'm underestimating um people's interest or whatever, but like 4 breaches is a lot to expect like multiple people, like a lot of people to be able to go to. I expect like maybe 1 or 2 per day will definitely be fully like committed
No,
and
no,
interested in, and
no.
the other two.
Maybe, yeah, but there will be people playing full days, bro. Like literally waking up from
Okay.
their sleep to fucking do breaches.
Yeah. Are you saying like in this clan?
No, I mean in general. There's gonna be people doing 16-hour days plus, killing their sleep, and they will go to sleep and literally wake up mid-sleep for the breach and then go back to fucking sleep.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm mostly saying like I'm saying just for our clan. Like for us, like um we'll probably I don't know. I'm just roughly gauging. We might do like 2 breaches a day as a group, and then maybe the other 2 we use time to like do quests or other things that we need to knock out. I'm not sure.
Wait, say that again? We'll use 2 days for breaches?
Sorry, no. So my original point was that
Oh, I
some of the
see.
breaches
I
might be a
see, I
little
see.
bit too dangerous.
The prioritization of what's necessary, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So if we see a breach and it looks kind of bad, like, we go there and like
So,
there's like a mega clan
all
camping
of
it.
these are the old locations. The new ones will be
Hmm.
regional. So, 2 out of 4 will be regional, 2 out of 4 will be the classic versions.
Good point. Yeah.
So, we can try and vary it based on that.
Yeah. What do you think we'll have more success on? The regional ones or
I
the
can't predict
like?
that. There's
Gotcha.
too many
the
missing
regional
factors.
ones just seem way better for low player counts, or at least less organized groups, because I think that some big clans will definitely camp the like single location breaches,
Yeah.
like,
This,
especially in multi. That's
yeah, the other problem here is People can have the agility level though, so it'll be interesting.
For sure.
Yep.
All right. And you can go into these dungeons too, but then
True.
you would have to pull off a spec and KO then before you go back up. So like
Actually,
it's
so
not a bad idea.
the single, I think that's Calvarion in the bottom left. You can kind of use the layer as an escape route, kind of like a ladder. Like you go down, and then you run south, and then you go out, and you like try to bait the guy into either waiting for you or going in early. And you can actually kind of use it as like if you're like for singles specifically, it's something you can try to like just like the ladder in Hesidius, right? Like it's an option to try to get away.
Yeah, but that's kind of the problem. The single version of the bosses are locked behind a diary.
They're unlocked for DMM.
They're unlocked. Okay, then
Okay, actually, let me clarify that. I do need to. I saw either they are unlocked for DMM or yeah. I think I read in the notes of
Yeah,
a
I think it
they
was in
did
the
like
notes of
a
the edit of the first look post.
yeah. They did an edit of the blog post and they said, yeah, for DMM it doesn't make sense to have the diary requirement, so you can just go in there in DMM.
that's cool. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if we have 2 confirmations on that, I think it's already clear.
Yeah.
Okay. By exiting the cave. All right, that's the end of that one. There's nothing else we can do.
Yeah.
Use the
It's
trees.
wildy multi. It is what it is.
I mean, like literally all of these are gonna have use the trees.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it does just come down to treat.
Okay.
Real.
Next is this one's crazy. I fucking hated this spot. This one fucking sucks.
Oh yeah.
Right here. West of the Wilderness Runite Rocks by the Deadly Red Spiders and Multi. Right here. They're spawning right here.
Cringe.
And you can escape to KBD.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, you have a door in the way,
But
and
the
people will follow you.
problem with this place is that it really fucking sucks. I
There's
mean,
nothing there.
it
There are not even trees,
really
right?
fucking sucks. Yeah. It's so open and barren. If there's a big clan there and you get frozen and piled, you will die almost instantly. If you manage to out-eat it, yes, you can get to KBD. That is the best option. This area sucks. There's even spiders attacking you. You know, like...
Yeah.
This area sucks. So the boss monsters, the best way to get here is obviously this obelisk. But KBD is the best escape. Apparently there's this new lava maze thing. Maybe you could try that. Do we know the level, what that is? I don't know if it's new, but... By the way, what direction will we enter from for this one?
For the boneyard, I think northwest, right? We want to come. We could like Rev's TP or obelisk run east, and then like Clock said, we either play like the northern, a little bit more north, or a little bit south, based on how the clans, how other people are playing it. And then we play those trees, and we either use the singles line or we use the lava dragon tile shortcut.
Probably be on Ancients.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll have a lot more teleports available to us.
Lava Maze is 82. That's decent.
We'll have that.
Oh wow.
We'll
Yeah,
have
that's good.
that. Some of us will have that. The strategy to escape is... So, hold on. To approach from the Revenant teleport scroll north of Chinchampas. I mean, there are better teleports, but
There's also the obelisk too, if we need it. I'm not sure how how accessible that is in DMM. I haven't actually seen that.
I didn't actually include it, so let me include that. Revenant teleport scroll. I'll just put it as first because some people won't have these. Anacarl Wilderness Crabs. What did you say? Sorry.
The obelisk.
Where?
So you could like Ferox Enclave
one?
to the 13 obelisk. It's like right outside.
That's a
Oh, is that
long run.
multi?
So you could, but it's a
No,
long
I'm saying so. There's a if you like dueling ring Ferox Enclave,
Yeah, we
and
have
then
that.
take the obelisk to the north. There's a northern obelisk, like to the northwest of the boneyard, up by
Northwest.
Blackchins.
That's fucking singles, yeah.
Because isn't that how we're going to be entering mostly from like the northwest?
You do have a point. It might be better to take that than to run here and deal with everybody else rushing in, so it might be better.
Yeah. Personally, I feel like Rev. If we can get Rev TPs, I think that's probably the best option. But if not, it's whatever.
What is the level for that? That obelisk teleport?
It's 13 to 35, or however you want to get there. But
This
the
one.
actual one,
Is it
yeah, 35,
38 or 35?
35.
Okay. Cool.
So one thing, can you go back to the map real quick? So I noticed that the obelisk near the Ferox Enclave is that multi?
Yes, it is.
Okay, then maybe Burning Amulet to Chaos Altar,
No.
or KBD, and then Obelisk could be faster and safer since it's not in multi. So I'm just thinking of how to get to the Obelisk, to TP to the 35 Obelisk, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we can put it as a later option. It's just further.
Oh, or Anna Carl to Obelisk, and then Obelisk to the wharf, whatever.
I
Boneyard.
think that's kind of ridiculous.
Oh, it's multi too. Yeah,
You would probably run at this point if you
that's
really
true.
need to do
That's
that.
true.
It's closer, probably, than running up here and then taking that over here and then yeah. So you would get caught though, so you're not wrong. But to end run or
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think Rev's TPs would be the best. They're probably going to be pretty cheap,
they're gonna
I
be
would
super
hope.
cheap. Yeah.
Then yeah, so I think Rev's TP. We'll just maybe use that as like the primary entrance method.
Burning amulet too. Okay. Strategy for this. It's from the eastern side, but that's not really possible. So
I'm not even sure if there is a good way to play this one.
yeah, you just have to stick it on this side. Because the spawns will be alright here. You have to stick it in singles between multi. Obviously, they're going to majority spawn and not really wander off into singles, but you have to play it from
I just
here.
think it's interesting that the mining spot has a special singles area.
Special what? Singles?
There's just this block of singles area around the mining spot.
Yeah, it is interesting. And free to play and all that is so funny, huh? what's even more interesting, this is probably one tile singles, maybe?
Seems like it, yeah.
Or just non-existent. But you can tell the difference probably from walking here, so that's why they have it there, so it's one tile. But should we approach it from the west or the east because of this? I mean, right here it's kind of deep, obviously. There's people around you. Runite rocks.
I have no idea. Like probably this would be one where I'd probably say we play it safe and we come in from the west, and if it looks like we have an angle to like snipe some kills on the breach, that'd be good. But
Okay.
I'm not sure if there's one. Like this feels like a very non-committal breach, as far as like a lot of teams will probably just kind of do what we're doing and see if we can get a couple of snipes, and that's about it.
Above the mining spot was a very small hole in the fence. Is it actually there, or is it just an error on the map?
It's just a weird error. It's not an
Okay.
actual entrance,
Sad.
sadly. Otherwise, yeah, that'd be a really good spot. We could sneak in there.
Hilarious. Nobody knew. The breach.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that's there.
Well, there's another one right here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. It's like it makes no sense because they have actual entrances, but then they just have random gaps. I'm not sure.
Or the eastern side. Where's our other homie? Is he still in the chat? Just quiet. Or the eastern side by the Runite Rocks. What happened? Escape is from... We could take... What the hell? Why do I not include the obelisk here? I forgot. I gotta pee, but think of... No, Ferox Enclave to the obelisk. Are you still here? I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah, I'm here.
What level is this wilderness obelisk?
I think it's 41. Let me double check.
Check the other one for 35 too, please.
The other one's 35 for sure. But I am looking.
Level 82 agility shortcut.
It's 44. The lava maze one is 44. The Revs Cave one is 35.
Cool. Or the level 82 agility shortcut into the lava maze.
Yeah, I mean, if we're fucking psychopaths, we could fucking take the agility shortcut. We could go in the lava maze, go
No,
up
no,
through
no.
the shortcut, sneak around.
Ain't nobody doing that. No. Right, that's plain stupid stuff. Doing all the early stuff.
I don't know.
When, yeah, no.
I don't know. I like it. Might. I mean, we'll see.
Look.
Probably unlikely.
Revenant teleport, run from here. That's probably the best way to go. If you wanted to approach from the east.
Yeah, if you were gonna try to do that, yeah, that's probably the best way.
But the best.
I would just
the
say
best
I wouldn't say
escape way-
stupid, but it is needless for sure. Like if you're gonna try to be sneaky, you might as well just go faster way. Waste of time.
Oh, I already had it here. I'm fucking stupid. Sorry about that. Yeah, so in this order, Lava Maze is the best. Revenants, if you wanted to do this right side.
Yeah,
version.
like crazy. You actually have
I'm
no regard for your own life.
I'm honestly thinking, though, trying to approach it from the east will be the best because less people will do it versus the west.
How far
Yeah.
south do the monsters from the respawn? Can you actually cheese them from the lava maze, especially from the entrance part? There is like this
No.
one corner.
No.
Okay.
Probably not. I love all your fucking cowardly ambitions, Clock. I'm only hearing that.
Dude, my entire PvP career until now is like some random dude misclicking on me on a PvP world. Like, I'd rather not fight.
You're gonna have fun.
Mhm. Yeah, there's gonna be fighting, but yeah, we'll definitely avoid it if we can. We just got to make sure the fights we take are high percentage, at least the highest percentage we can
I'm gonna
choose.
leave this up to what we try, even though I think the eastern side is gonna be better. Just because not only do we have this escape, but we also have singles. I like how this looks like a water drop, but this will probably be safer, but more people will be entering from this way versus this way, so I think eastern is going to be better. So I'm literally going to reorganize this and flip it and say the opposite, just because I want to try the eastern side first. And flip this too. Alright, thanks for allowing me to write. Next one. This one's interesting. I already figured out the escape for this one, so it's not really necessary to go over. But the bandit camp is in between singles and multi. They're mostly going to be spawning right here. And so you can teleport in via the lava maze. It's the literal best bet. And you can run over to singles. You should be okay. And here's the Rev Cave. You can try and escape that way, but, you know, wouldn't really recommend it. And, you know, the best escape is the Chaos Altar right here. I think it's right here. You just bring Chaos Talisman. What's the strategy for entering, though?
I'm not sure about this one. If you think the bandit camp TP, or yeah, the bandit camp TP is safe, then probably that one, just because it gets us right in there. But
It's not safe.
okay,
I mean, you know, like, once again, I'm going to de-emphasize people trying to kill you upon teleports in, but since it is multi, it's likely. It's just people are probably going to be preoccupied with the breaches.
gotcha.
If we wanted to be the crazy fucking team to skull up and attack everybody here, then we can do that. We can have 10 people literally eliminate somebody immediately, and that would be fun. but
That would be pretty.
but not so fun. It's kind of fucked up, but all right. So the strategy is to approach. I'm gonna let you guys think about this. I'm gonna pee again because I'm drinking so much tea. But where should we approach this from? There is a Chaos Altar teleport. I believe the best escape is Chaos Talisman or the Revenant Caves right here. Not the best for the Revenant Caves, but all these trees will help. So think about that. I'll be right back.
Can't you just take Revenant teleport scrolls, TP to the Rev Caves, and run through the Rev Caves over to this entrance?
You could, but
Then
it's.
does
I mean,
entire clan
also,
just pop out of nothing,
that's true. You could do that.
and it's still singles. So
That's true. It could be something worth looking at. It depends on, you know, like what it looks like. Like we can kind of scout it out. If it looks like there's people there, we could try that. If not, we could all like Ferox Enclave is literally right there. So we could run up and scout it out and see what it looks like, and then we could decide if we want to try to like flank them through the caves or if we just want to, I don't know, maybe play the trees. I'm not really sure on this one. Seems kind of straightforward.
the problem is Ferox Enclave is the obvious path, so there will be other people there.
True, but it is singles, like Michael said.
You could also technically run up from the GE. There's a shortcut pretty
Yeah,
much right
that's
to
a
the
good
building
point.
stage.
Yeah, he was saying like most of the time you're not going to get hidden singles by people attacking you. But you're right. It is a possibility.
I mean,
This one seems like
Clock.
probably the safest of the wilderness ones.
Clock.
So probably what's up?
You're thinking too much like a bitch, bro. It's good
I
at
know.
times, but when you run from here to there, it's a long run, bro.
Through the
Ferox is
caves,
gonna
not
be better.
overworld.
You know? Ferox is
Through the
gonna be
caves with
better.
the shortcuts, it's not that far.
What do you mean?
But yes, I agree. That's
I meant
the
through the
agility.
Rev caves with the agility shortcuts. So you just pop out as a clan on one spot in the single area.
What agility shortcuts? Those aren't really shortcuts, bro. You still have to run through the caves.
That's true.
Like, it's a long run.
Yeah.
Look at the size of this, bro. That's a long run, bro. The point is to show up early and get your spot before other people take that spot.
Yeah,
That's-
then
that's what-
Ferox is the obvious answer, but there will be other people coming from that direction.
Yeah, that's probably not so much to worry about until we actually get in here. I'd say it's gonna be really crowded right here. I mean, that's where all the breaches monsters are spawning. But we can hug the Revenant entrance. Because I remember
Yeah, that's
monsters
probably the
being
play.
down here. We can hug the Revenant entrance. I think that might be the best angle. Because we can go in between singles and multi. I think, do you have anything else that might be better? There's plenty of trees here too, so like if somebody wanted to de-spear you into this line, you could go around the tree before it's a potential. Okay, all good.
The same way that in our comments, there's some revenoments, and that be apart. I feel like it's a mixture. We don't.
Who just joined? Uh, 1014, welcome, dude. 1014, can you hear me? Yeah, this is a DMM strategy session right now. If you're not talking, can you please mute yourself?
You might have joined accidentally.
No, he's DMing me right now. You can probably see what my screen is sharing, right? I literally have his DMs.
Yeah.
Okay. So back to this. Okay. So right now, 1014, we're going over breach locations and potential escapes, etc. And where to teleport in. And so we're finishing up the old locations, actually. I think we're actually done. We already have all the best escapes. So now we're going to do the new locations. Does everybody have time for that?
Yeah, I'll be a little bit more listening, but if I'll be around.
Okay. So we're done with the old locations. We have the best teleports. We have the best escape routes on this document. So that's really good. Now we have the new locations, which we have to predict. We don't know exactly where they're going to be, but we have an estimate. Northeast of the Alcarid mine. All right. So then from here, well done, everybody, by the way. northeast of the Alcarid mine. This wasn't actually. I'm surprised this is a new location. Why is this a new location? Because we already had this. We had this right here. Northeast of the Alcarid mine. Are you sure that's right? Northwest. Okay, I'm reading it wrong. Good. Northwest. Right here? Are you serious?
I mean, that's just X-side teleports, right?
Say again?
That's just X-side teleports. Can't you just run over from there? Chronicle also pretty good.
What was the first thing you said?
Dig-side teleports.
Oh, that's really far, bro.
Oh, that's up there. Okay.
This is kind of cool, though, because you have... I don't know if the rocks will help you, but it's much better than being in the complete barren desert. As for saving. The desert is so dangerous, you know. There's nothing to go around, typically. These cactuses don't save you. It's not like bushes will save you. Maybe these rocks will help. There's a lot of things that you'll just have to learn when you learn them, but unless you want to test them. But right here is where it looks like it'll spawn, which is good because you can get to the trees much easier than over here. No joke, the freeze time between here and here is so ridiculous that they can do a lot of damage on you. So this is very dangerous. This is less dangerous. I would say, literally though, this will be the exact same teleport set as the other Alcarid location. And same thing with the escapes. So I'm just gonna type that in. I doubt it's like type like that. Let's see. Yeah, it's like that. So I'll just copy this. And at this point, I think this teleport's not going to be as useful, though.
Yeah, I mean, you could add the Chronicle to the Champions Guild. This is quite close.
You're right. Where is it superior, though? What do you think it's superior to?
What else do you have there?
Hey, yo, mic check.
It's going to be superior to this. Chronicle.
Hey, Requiem.
Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, what's good, guys? How you doing?
Much better. How you doing?
Doing fine. Yeah, sorry, my mic was my default mic was on earlier, not even that's it.
It's all good. Yeah, for some reason, same like I have my PS5 controller and it overrides my like very high quality mics, and I'm like, why would it ever do that? Why would
Facts,
who did
dude.
this?
That's what my shit does too every single time. I don't even have anything plugged into it. It has its own mic, I guess, built in. So it defaults to that. Anywho, sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt.
Cool.
Is this your first session, 1014?
Negative. I was a part of one about a week ago. I think it was last weekend.
Nice.
Early morning for me at least. So I haven't been to one because I've been at work all week, but I'm back for the weekend. So
Nice. Welcome. Nice to
Thank
meet you.
Welcome back, man.
you as well, man. Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, I was just trying to get you to sign up properly. You know, we signed
Oh.
up people indicating interest, but they didn't answer like the 18 questions, which would help me coordinate everybody and know what their intentions are and stuff.
You know what? Let me go do that right now while I'm listening. Sorry. I see what you're saying.
Sure, if it's the best time for you. Yeah, I mean, I literally de-rolled everybody who was interested in DMM so that they could add and follow those instructions and give themselves a role. And, you know, there were 50 people interested or more. But the problem is actually having them be interested and do the next step, which is signing up properly. That's been the bridge. You know, I've sent everybody here the really big message. And so I don't know if it's too much for them or like it's a read now, come back later and forget about it type of thing. But all of that prepares you for everything you need to know moving forward. It's all in your inbox, so you don't have to look anywhere else for it. So I thought it would help, but maybe it hasn't been the best for everybody. But yeah, proper sign up is necessary.
It's helpful for sure. It's a lot, and sometimes you think like I don't know, like I missed a small step because there's like a bunch of channels, and you're just introduced to the server, so you think you did it in the right channel, but it's, like for example, some of the other sessions were like in the announcements tab, and so like I thought it was going to be in the Deadman tab, so then just like small stuff like that. It's just because it's a big message, people are going to miss
Yeah.
stuff, even if you did a good job of like organizing it and making it very clear. Like people are just always going to,
The reason
know.
why it's separate from the announcements in the Deadman chat is because I want people to properly sign up. It's more reasons to exclude them. Like, for example, if we collaborated with another clan and they end up trying to betray us or something, like if they didn't actually properly sign up, then they wouldn't see the actual Deadman chat, for example. And so it's more barriers to entry that actually help versus not, because some people are not familiar with the clan. They may just be joining as friends and they want to participate, things like that. And so I tried to separate it, at least have the Deadman chat be hidden or locked behind some barrier, which is once they fill out the sign up form and they've committed to that 18 questions, then I give them a role so that they can see that. That's why that's like that.
Yeah, it makes sense for sure. I was just, I guess, kind of, backing up my boy 1014. Like it is just, even for somebody as interested as I am, like it's very easy to miss. Like, you think you did a step, or you think you in your mind you're like, okay, I'll do that. Like after I finish reading the message, but then you finish reading the message and you forget that you were supposed to do that step. Just wanted to, yeah, it happens.
No, for sure. Yeah, I've been fairly busy. I haven't been keeping up with all the Discord messages recently, and it's kind of like my bad. But
Yeah,
just
totally understandable. As I guess I got you, bro.
work in real life and all kinds of stuff. So
Alright. This is the best thing I got. I mean, there's not much of a difference other than the Champions Guild now being a more viable teleport. You might be able to skip.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize
Listen to clock.
that's actually
clock,
pretty
clock.
close.
But
I thought to take the canoe, but
Where's the canoe
that's
go?
it's
high
about the
level
same
autism.
distance as the gnome glider.
It is, yeah. It is right next to the Champions Guild on the
Gotcha.
river line.
are we looking for ways to funnel our own clan into a breach without running into too many PKers? Is that what we're looking at?
We're talking about where to approach from, what part to
Okay.
defend, where to teleport in,
If
what the best escape is while you're in it.
I would always recommend, especially near Fire Talisman, Fire Altar,
Yeah,
if we can utilize that. Okay. I don't know if you guys already discussed that. I came a little late, but
yeah, but the fire altar is a bit more distant. Like you would probably want to go into the trees at this point. I mean, I believe you did Apocalypse, right? So the trees would be better in this circumstance because it'd be the northwest spawn versus the northeast, and the fire altar would be right here. Right?
Did they spawn on both sides of the mine?
So yeah, this is a little unique because the Alcarid has a new location in the northwest.
Are we talking about freeze hugging? When you're referring to trees, are we speaking about purely freeze hugging?
Freeze hugging, I'm not familiar with the term, but it makes sense. So what I'm saying
Like,
is,
I know
instead of running all the way from here in the barren desert where there's nothing to protect you to the fire altar, just run north here to the trees, and that's the best escape. This is way too far. You're gonna get yourself killed.
Yeah, I think we're just trying to figure out, like which area we want to play, and if we play it, like what is our like plan individually, and like how we want to handle that, right? So like if we had decided we were going to play like the south side, then sure, the fire altar would be great.
I think there's two major variables at play there. If we can send multi, if there's not a bigger clan around, then we could use the fire. Because I mean, realistically, the fire altar's right up there next to the mine. It's like a couple like 20, 30 tiles directly southeast of the mine entrance. So it's like, it is accessible, definitely, if it's on the east side of the mine. But we have to make sure there's no big clans, because some people like to just sit in there in multi and wait for people to come out.
Is it multi?
No. It's
Yeah,
not.
inside of the fire altar, I'm pretty sure it's multi.
Oh, inside of the fire altar is multi.
Yeah, once you
Ooh,
enter
that's
there.
worth noting.
Okay, gotcha.
I know the Earth one is for sure, and I know a lot of big clans because when I was with Overtake for a small portion of last season, that's one of the things they did. That's one of the strategies they used, was sitting inside and waiting.
Jesus, that's brutal.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, because they'd have their good PKers go out and single focus people, and all of the worst PKers.
Yeah, and then they
So-
get scared and they run and take the altar, and then you run into 20
Or-
guys sitting at the.
They'll have a
Maybe.
max set PKer who doesn't scout at all. Their teammates aren't there to scout for them, and they'll go in there and just send it, and then they'll die and lose a max set. Like talking about like Ancestral or Virtus, all that kind of stuff.
Jesus.
Yep, it's happened before.
Okay, well, yeah, we need to. I guess. Do you know if that's like all of the altars are multi?
I don't know. We could double check. Honestly, it'd just be a simple peep your head in, and the normal game.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they don't change that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna make a Deadman 345 account. I'm gonna run around,
Oh, I have.
so I can definitely. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I have
We
a
can.
max
Yeah, I
set.
was gonna say earlier we were talking about running some tests on some of the potential escapes, like certain. For example, there's like a boat near the Hisidius breach, and we wanted to test like, is that something you can access while you're in combat?
Hmm.
So it'd be nice
Oh,
if we had somebody to test that with.
No, for sure. I'll go skull up on the 345.
Hell yeah,
I actually have a count PK right down there. I can just use to run around, so it'll be fine.
nice.
It's helpful to have.
Yeah, I gotta get. I'll have to get a little bit up to
Just so you know,
like
on
unlock
3,
the
4,
different
5,
areas.
You have 12 hours of protection. You probably want to use that if you really do. And
Oh, for sure.
and which means you can't strategize properly without that. And if you
Yeah.
do, then and you want to use that account later, you'll have to scrap all of your progress there.
Yeah, totally fine. I don't care. I just want to be able to like run around and test different like areas, and because I didn't play Apocalypse. I haven't played in like 6 years, or not 6 years, like 4 years. So I want to just familiarize myself with the world map
Yeah,
and
you're still a mega nerd. Right
say
on.
stuff. I am a mega nerd, but I have not played DMM. Well, because DMM has historically been clan man mode. Like it was just you were just locked out unless you played for a big clan.
I don't
As
think
much
it's
as I
better.
wanted to play,
I don't
so
think
Let
it's better
me
now.
let me try to interject here.
Sure.
If there's a time later on you guys do want to watch, I can always share my screen and go around the map and show certain interactions to people and see how they look like, as well,
Sure.
live demonstration wise, so people can see it first person. If
Yeah,
they're
we
interested.
could maybe me and you can set up like once I get set up on the 345, maybe sometime this week we can set up a time where we do that and we can record it and then post it in the strategy channel, because I don't know if we're going to be able to get people to actually come live, but that's something that like at least you and I could maybe organize and then post it for people to
Yeah, thank you.
go
If you
back
could
and look.
take some of that responsibility and offload it, delegate it, or I can delegate it to you. That'd be great. Thanks.
Sure.
A better way of putting it is, I appreciate your voluntary action because it helps a lot.
Hmm.
I got where you're going with that. It's all good.
Yeah. It's just I've been doing everything kind of on my own for like the whole planning thing. It's like, oh my god, it is a lot.
Yeah, when I am available, I like to assist and show people that they can be comfortable doing certain things, but it is what it is.
So next up, because there's nothing else we can really add to Alcarid, it's troublesome, is the Sorcerer's Tower. Sorcerer's Tower, I believe this is the new regional breaches. So this one's a bit interesting because it'll probably be like a spawn here, a spawn there, a spawn here, a spawn there, a spawn here, a spawn there, a spawn here, a spawn there. You know? So I have the best teleports as the Legends Guild from the Fairy Ring, Combat Bracelet to the Ranging Guild right here, Camelot Teleport to Seer's Village right here, and Charter Ship to Catherby, which is right here.
I mean, you could add the medium
Armageddon
diary
farm.
for,
Yeah,
right?
it's an option. It's just less people will want to do it. Okay. And then lastly, teleport to Ordoin. Okay, so as far as the strategy
Wait,
for a regional
Is
breach,
the Sorcerer's Tower connected to Yanil?
watchtower?
In Yanil, on top of the Wizard's Guild, there are portals to different Wizard's Towers. I'm just not sure if it goes to the Sorcerer's Tower.
You should test that, because I've never used those in my life.
I don't have an account with 60 magic.
Maybe, if I ever did use
Wait,
it,
you
it was
don't have an
pre-DOC.
account with 60 Magic?
Yeah, only my main, but that's another story.
Wait, you don't have access to your main or something?
No, it's area locked account. I don't have
Oh,
access to
interesting.
Yanil.
Wait, you have an... Wait, hold on. What area do you lock yourself to?
It's weird. Somewhere around Reno.
Somewhere around Drain. Interesting. That's pretty cool. Do you make like content for it or just personally?
Just for me.
Nice. That's sick, dude.
When he
I
says
respect
that,
that.
he's brutal, bro.
Rooftop.
No, that means he's just based. He's committed to playing the game how he wants to, and he doesn't care if like other people are watching. He just plays it that way because he likes it.
Yeah.
Sick.
So, what we have here is this whole area that we can discuss. Since it's the Sorcerer's Tower, it's probably going to be everything immediately in a circle around it. Because this is a regional breach, there will be 30 spawns, I believe, and spawn points and 10 actual spawns. So which area do we want to control, if there is an area? Northeast? Southwest? Whatever?
Single to multis. Single to multis. That little path up there
This area?
to the northwest. Yeah. Northwest, where people are running down that path not realizing they're running through multi-tiles. We can have people ready with snares and people ready with low-level account. I mean, I don't know if this would be low-level bracket we're locking down or what bracket, but you always want to catch people single to multi.
Yeah, that's what we've been planning for all the other breaches, is
Like,
playing
you know,
between that.
you see that one tree that's next to the cooking symbol over there near Heminster? There's that one tree that's like kind of near multi, but like it's a little far enough away to where you could see people running south.
Yeah, but I
Yep.
don't know that they'll spawn over here on this path, to be honest. It's probably going to be
I
more
mean-
close to the Sorcerer's Tower.
They could, but I think a lot of people are just running down whatever path is closest. I mean, either that or it gets split in half. It shouldn't take more than 6 to 8 people to kill one person at a time. They don't have like well enough gear to defend themselves too.
Mm-hmm.
But single to multi is very smart because we don't have to risk being in multi ourselves. We can hit people in multi though.
Like, especially if you say that Ring of Dueling takes you to the Ranging Guild. Because that
That would
should be
combat
multi.
bracelet.
Combat bracelet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And either way, I don't think most people don't use that telly until late game.
Yeah, sure, that's Dragonstone.
Well, with the auto quest unlocks, nobody really uses combat bracelet in DMM anymore because you have Addy gloves from the get-go, I believe.
Well, actually, it depends on which bracket you're in, right? Because there are no auto unlocks in the lowest bracket for Recipe for Disaster. But oddly enough, in past DMMs, I've seen people wearing mithril gloves, no problem. So
Well,
I'm a
so-
bit confused, but it seems like this year they won't have it.
You don't think they'll have auto unlock for RFD?
No, they do, just in 3 to 50. You can't just
thought it was-
automatically grab it, right?
I thought it was adamant gloves. You can just go pay for them in 3 to 50.
Yeah, but you would need the quest unlocks, no?
I don't think so.
So
I don't.
this is the one thing I'm the most confused on. Like, if there's anything I'm confused on, it's can you buy the gloves? Can you not buy the gloves? Because it literally says there's 6 quest unlocks in 51 to 70 for Recipe for Disaster, but otherwise there's not. And in older DMMs, I think it was Reborn, people were able to buy them straight off and use them. So I'm so confused as for the legitimacy of what it actually says in the quest unlocks and whether or not you can buy them before or after. So
I will say,
I'm leaning on you can't right now.
yeah, maybe 3 to 50. You could be correct, to be honest, because I did rush combat brackets, so I may have been in like 71 to 90 or whatever it was when I actually bought my gloves. Because to be honest, I did not worry about that whatsoever. All I focused on was getting a D-skim, amulet of strength, climbing boots, and defender and just rushing Slayer the whole time and then Black Mask, but you could be right. You never know. I don't know what bracket they unlock at.
I believe that the combat bracelet is actually better than Mithril gloves too, if you are pure.
It is better than Myth, not Adamant.
Okay, so then yeah, we'll be using that. All right, so then we'll take it from this approach here. Secondly, what would the next area be? If they're really not spawning around this area, which they probably will, just considering there is a multi-mix in the bag, then which region? Northeast, southeast, or southwest?
Are we purely coming from the perspective of where is most likely to find people to attack?
We're coming from the perspective of also being able to do breaches as well, like the actual monsters, and lock down the area.
Where was the breach in this area last time? The only one I remember was
these are new. These are new regional breaches.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, good escape would obviously be going down that dungeon of Ikov lair or going up the ladder in the Sorcerer's Tower. Those are really good escapes because you can just go up 2 sets of stairs or down 1 set of stairs, and then it's an easier escape than running around.
That's a good
Talking
point.
About the,
so then we should do the left side, to be honest.
Yeah, we could focus left side because if somebody
There's
does happen to go to multi,
except for trees. It's singles. Yeah, you can escape for trees anywhere, so it's not a problem.
I think a lot of people aren't going to realize that ranging guild's multi if they haven't played DMM before. Or they aren't familiar with it as well.
Right.
So that would be a really good place.
You know what's crazy though is that like last year we spent so much time here just fucking killing people doing the actual training in the 3 to 50 trying to get the maxed range experience. It was fun. It was a lot of fun actually. But then there were really big clans that would come in and flush us out, and we were like 5 people.
Login.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I'm not as experienced.
This is actually a contested spot on the lowest bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Say again?
I actually have something too. So, I believe, I mean, aside from low-level accounts, because I feel like low-level accounts wouldn't want to maximize HP XP per hour, but Scurious is definitely going to be the new multi-training spot over things like Ranging Guild or whatever else, because clans are just going to lock down Scurious and farm 99s easily.
Yeah, that means also, though, that they have to turn off their experience, right? In order to do that and use the lamps.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't know, because I feel like most low-level locked clans probably won't do Scurious, just because, again, it'd be kind of hard to stop you from getting too much XP. Just because of how good it is, but Ranging Guild, only gives you range XP. You don't have to worry about HP XP or any of that kind of stuff.
It'll be where people round themselves out to have the best account before moving on to PKing or whatever. I get it. There are only 6 worlds, though, so...
Yeah.
It'll be complex. Okay, northwest of the southwest.
I'm trying to think what unlocks we'd have available in 3 to 50. Like, what exact teleports. Now, honestly, the first breach happens 6 hours in the DMM, right?
Yeah, we'll be stacked by then. I'm anticipating.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm one of those people who is more certainly than not going to be pushing levels, but I'm saying more for the fact of, like...
The alt accounts?
Yeah, how many... Yeah, alt accounts, like... What other unlocks would we have to get to Catherby? Because I feel like a lot of people aren't going to train magic up high enough to get the Camelot tally because if they want to keep their levels. I mean, they could do range mage.
We're going to have
That's pretty smart.
At that point.
Oh, it's auto unlocked as well?
No, we'll actually do the quest.
Because you guys are going to do the quest.
On the alts, the fairy rings will come in handy. Particularly because if you wanted to do breaches, bro, this regional breach location, if you've actually seen it, 1, 2, 3, 4 locations in Varlamore, they're all centered around the actual fairy ring that is there. So, like, for example, Varlamore, where the fuck are you? I don't even know where this fucking place is. All right, here. This is the fairy ring right here. Here's the Colossal Worm Remains. Here's the Hunter Guild. Here is Outer Fortress. Here's the Fairy Ring, right in the center of all three of those.
Mhm.
Outer Fortress. Hunter Guild. East of the Hunter Guild, which is right here. Perfect. And the Colossal Worm Remains in Varlamore, right here. North of it.
That's multi, yeah.
So literally everything is centered around this Fairy Ring being the best teleport. And then there's a fourth one, which is right here at the Ortis Farm, which isn't super far from here. So literally, if you unlock the Fairy Rings, and this is the normal teleport that you would have to
That's in
unlock.
multi too.
So yeah, when you teleport in here with the normal teleport, where does it take you?
It takes you right to the multi in front of the palace
Oh, for
where
real?
the quest symbol is. Yeah, you tele into multi when you tele.
That's sketch. So like
It
literally,
is.
then this is the best teleport.
Yeah, the only viable option to even get into Varlamore, I believe, except for actually check the Coliseum. Is the Coliseum all multi as well? Because you have the Ring of Dueling. If you do the Coliseum, no. So the outer portion isn't multi. It's just the actual Coliseum
but
itself.
for an alt
Okay.
account, we're probably not going to do that. So let's just
Oh,
stick
no.
to this. So then if we unlock it on all of our accounts, just this alone is going to help us with like a good amount of the breaches. For the regional breaches in particular, 4 out of 8. So that's totally worth getting, and that's why I decided we're going to do that. Yeah. So then back to here. Sorcerer's Tower. Where are you? Here. I'm just going to finish writing this up. Is there anything else you guys want to say about this area? We said basically the best escapes are the ladder in the Sorcerer's Tower and the Temple of Ikov dungeon. We're probably going to take this left northwestern quadrant and southwestern quadrants.
Mm-hmm.
Anything
The only
else?
other really, the only other really good escape would also be that windmill, because the windmill has 3 separate sets of stairs or ladders you can climb up. So if you can make it over that windmill,
it's a bit further. It's a bit far though.
it's further. But if you have somebody who's not like somebody who's
It's
using
better for
darts,
this
let's say,
breach.
like freeze darts is super hard to deal with, especially at a bank, even a bank. So if they have freeze and darts, you'll have a very hard time getting away from them, even running up and down stairs. So having 3 different stairs is very beneficial. But I believe Sorcerer's Tower has that as well, 3 different stairs. So you never know.
Can you repeat that?
So the windmill has, I believe, 3 different ladders going up and down, because that's like 4 separate floors, and I believe the Sorcerer's Tower is the same way. So for somebody who's spam clicking darts, let's say, normally if you have one ladder or 2 ladders, it's a lot harder to escape. But with 3, it provides you a lot more mind games you can play on your opponent while getting away and escaping. So just something to keep note of.
Okay, but freeze darting and the banking.
So that's separate. That's like if you're panicking, you're trying to run away from them, or you're trying to use a bank at all, they're just going to hit you with a, re-tick weapon and just stop you entirely from using a bank, basically. But
So when you're using a 3-tick weapon, is it impossible to bank or extremely hard?
it's extremely difficult.
Okay, unless your bank's organized or something.
Unless you have perfect clicks and your bank's organized, and there's still an eating time or delay as well.
And what delay?
Eating time or delay. So if you pull out something out of your bank at DMM, there's I think it's a 2 or 3 tick delay on you actually clicking the food in your inventory.
So yeah, you have to be experienced. Got it.
You have to be very good at bank fighting to actually utilize that correctly, or else you get smoked.
Well, that's why noting is better, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because there's no delay to do that.
Yep.
Got it. So you said there's a two tick delay between eating and opening the bank interface?
I can't remember exactly how many ticks it is, but I know it's like around a 1 second or so.
But it's between opening it and eating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or closing your bank and eating.
Closing.
Because you'll pull out the food, you'll try to either they're attacking you and it auto closes your interface, or you close it yourself using like escape or something. I mean, you're sitting there spam clicking, and it takes like a second for you to actually process the tick to eat.
Oh, I think that's what it is. Is while you're in the bank, you can't eat without a delay.
Yeah.
So when
DMM
you
slightly
exit the
different.
interface, DMM
That's a unique mechanic. That's a unique mechanic when you're in combat, right? So like if you've been in combat within the last, I don't know how many seconds or game ticks it is, but if the game knows that you've been in combat and you go to eat food out of the bank, then it'll put that automatic delay on there. So you can't just sit there and eat, either food out of your bank, which some people have menu entry swapper to like shift click eat food, things like that. And obviously, most people that are experienced, they will use their lowest tick cycle weapon to stop you from even opening the interface at all, like a dart, like a dragon dart, or rune knives or rune darts or something like that, especially low level brackets.
Right, but is that faster than a magic short bow? Or are they the same? I believe it's a 3-tick, right?
MSB is 3-tick. I think darts are actually 2-tick.
Okay, so that's what I was confused on. Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
darts were faster. Okay. But
I'm fairly certain they are. I think they're 2-tick attack. Which then, like we discussed, would make it nearly impossible. You'd have to literally be tick perfect every single time you click on the bank to get any food out, unless you're using the noting.
okay, so southeast of Castle Wars, I kind of want you guys to think about that for right now. So just look at this real quick while I write this, so we're not wasting any time. Southeast of Castle Wars, where do we even think this is going to be? Right here? Right
Probably
here.
probably south of Jigig, or west, either west of Jigig or south. I don't know. I feel like they would have put like northwest Feldup Hills if it were down there, though.
You know what I'm so surprised though is that they didn't do any spawns here. Last year, it's such a big free area, you know.
But it is, yeah.
I'm just so surprised they have no breaches here. But they didn't
I think
say
what they
Feldup
meant to
Hills.
say,
They said southeast of Castle Wars.
yeah,
So it's probably
so
right
it
here.
must just be like south of Castle Wars. Yeah, must be right there. That's the only place that makes sense.
Right here, across the bridge, or right here.
Uh huh.
Because it would make sense.
I mean,
right
it
here.
could be. It would. It's just like that's also near the ogres, which are aggro in low level brackets, things like that. I mean, like it wouldn't matter for the overall intents and purposes, but if you started the quest, you can also use Gutanath as an escape. If you start that Watchtower quest, you can utilize those caves to your advantage.
If you don't start the quest and you go into the caves, they just teleport you to the next cave around.
Uh-huh.
So,
I guess you can still use it then.
yeah.
Or Zogre Flesh Eaters, right? Because if you start that quest, he breaks the barricade. You can just climb over. I don't know if there's a delay though.
Yeah, but that
Again,
has
one of those
multiple
things.
quests, like jungle potion shit in front of it. Something weird. It's annoying. So there's this. It's just a bit distant. Yeah.
Mhm.
We will do that quest on the alts, so there's no problem.
Oh,
For the magic
I thought of something
experience,
too.
takes you to 54 actually, which is really good.
If it is close to ogres, also having a rope would be a pretty good escape because you can use the rope to jump across that place in the middle of the island, and they might not be able to hit you on that island if you walk around a wall.
But does it have an animation stall?
It might. I think it has a slight animation stall, like when you normally use a rope on something to go across. But I mean, if they can kill you in like 2 seconds, that's I don't know. It's just heal up before you use it. You have a better chance of living, probably.
So that just basically means that this is more viable than the rope, but it is an additional option. Do you have to use the rope once, or do you have to bring it every time?
You have to bring it each time. So once you use it once, you'd be telling to a bank, and you just pull out another one if you have it, which is something we can look into. But
all right, let me finish writing the other stuff and think about anything else if you want. Like, where is the best escape? We already discussed that. What direction should we approach it from? That's what you should think about for strategy wise.
I mean, I think Castle Wars is just the best place to go unless you're using the ferry ring to the southwest.
The fairy ring, you say?
Yeah, to the southwest, the one south of the smoke cave.
Alright, so the teleports that I currently have are the Ring of Dueling Castle Wars, Fairy Ring BKP to south of Castle Wars, Fairy Ring CIQ to northeast of Castle Wars, which is actually here at Yaneel, which is a very interesting approach.
I mean, technically, Watchtower teleport.
Watchtower is annoying because you have to take the agility shortcut and then come through.
Yeah.
You can't just cross the wall. So that is an option. It's just
The only nice thing about using the one northeast is that you have that safe zone right there. So if somebody is attacking you while you're going to the breach, you can just run to the safe zone real quick. But other than that, I don't think there's any additional benefit to it.
right.
It's just longer distance for safer route, basically, which is fairly normal, I think, in most cases.
But it's less of an issue coming in than exiting.
Yeah. I mean, some people are just stupid and will attack you for any reason. You never know. But
Yeah, but it's
DMM
not like they have a chance. So
depending on who they're attacking. If it's like a Stadius Warhammer peer, they always have a chance as long as they can get you.
what is the max hit on that? 60 something?
No, not at 350. I think it's like 40 something, like 47 or 48 or some shit.
Is it because
It's
of
basically
gear?
it's mainly because of strength bonus, but also because of levels. Like you
Well, they can
you
get to
can't really
94 if not 99, can't they?
I don't know. I'd have to do a calculation. I'm not.
Oh, this is interesting though. Is that the 20 attack level really fucks you up this time?
Oh, they added 20 attack level to it.
Yeah, it really fucks you up this time around.
Sit the fuck down,
They're,
Stadius
they're
Warhammer.
not going to be as strong. I think Volatile Nightmare Staff people are going to be stronger.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, low level mage builds is going to be significantly stronger than it was, which is good.
Just so you know, though, like, I made an account build for that at 35 hit points, which is really risky. But you can literally do fire surges at 86 and use the new overloads to 95, I think it is.
Oh, you're right,
gets you
because
an
the
extra 9
overload
levels.
effect,
So,
you could damn near two-shot people from a distance like that.
say again?
I said you could two-shot people from a distance without them even really paying attention or knowing at the breach.
The problem with the Volatile Nightmare Staff is that it's 6 tile, though, so you need a swap for a staff.
Oh no, I mean just like straight up fire surging, not even using the spec. Does it still have a percentage magic bonus on it? Being
Yeah.
a volatile staff? Oh, well there we go. And they just updated mage as well, where Mystic Might and all those things actually give you, percentage damage as well, which is kind of beneficial to mage peers.
Yeah, but remember, so long as you're using the staff, I think the whole staff renders everything 6 tile distance.
You serious?
I would imagine so.
I thought that was just a spec.
No. The dark bow has the same thing. So, like, you would
What?
consider it the
That's
whole
so-
item, right?
So basically, they made it where people can hit you with like an MSB while you're using a volatile staff, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, so you would practically only use that item if you're getting
As a spec.
closer and you've frozen them versus and you can spec them versus as a main item if you're trying to keep a distance and keep them from coming in and closing the gap.
Yeah.
So you would have a swap like in my example, the Underground Pass Ibn staff is probably the best because it does the most damage. If you were to use that along with Fire Surge, then maybe. But you could probably have what might also be a nice complement is the Toxic Staff. It'd just be really expensive and a huge risk because then you die.
Do
or
you
lose
still
it.
need to use
And you could literally
Fire
use
Surge?
that spec to save your ass on the Toxic Staff if they actually came in and were gonna kill you, because you won't have prayers, so like you'll have the damage incoming of melee attacks, right? So that could save your ass. Could be viable.
Do,
What was
do
your
you
question,
still
Clark?
need to use Fire Surge, or can you just do Air Surge now? I don't know
You
if they
need
changed
to,
it for
but the
PvP.
thing is, you can have a Tome of Fire and it increases your damage by 50%
Yeah, that's true.
in PvP, and that's why that's useful. I think there's other items that will help, but that's the main one. Yeah. So if you stack that along with the Occult and the Tormented Bracelet and your Mage Cape and then Elder Chaos Druid Robes, you're going to do a lot more damage than without all that. Plus, you also have the staff that upgrades your percentage by 15%, like the toxic staff, if not the volatile nightmare staff, once you freeze them. So the damage is going to be much higher than normal versus just doing another spell, which you would lose the extra 50% on top of that. Yeah, it's deadly. It's actually terrifying. If you started taking so much damage that you couldn't fight back from a rusher like that, it would be terrifying to see a fire surge coming at you on a low level bracket. You're like, what? No, because they're hitting high 30s and 40s, bro. I think it's terrifying. It would be terrifying to see on a level 50. Wow. So that's
What's the
why
requirement on
I wanted to make
Zuriel
that.
staff?
I don't know. Probably 75.
75.
Maybe 78. I don't know if it has an attack level requirement, but yeah. I just think it'll be a very scary account that you can counter if you can hit them early before they come in for the spec or something, or, you know. But the thing is, they won't have prayers, so they'll literally be 1 or 2 hits away from death. That's why it doesn't work. But it'll be a lot of fun, is what I think. Just fucking around with that. So that's
They'll
why
be
I
easily
wanted
on
to
the
make it.
back foot, though.
Say again?
Like against Fire Surge, they'll be easily on the back foot with Fire Surge in the mix.
Yeah, and then you can MSB switch too. So the problem is if you brew down, you can't use Fire Surge. That's the problem. So then at that point you would want to switch up your tactic a little bit. To which you can bring something like an MSB, and you can use also, in my opinion, the wizard version of the ninja, which will help a lot with DPS or magic.
Sure.
And then you could potentially complement that with the Ruthless Ranger, which will take out their run energy. And since you're switching to that anyways when you're brewed down, if you were to play it in a brewed down scenario, then it'll take something like 10 seconds to come back up for you to be able to Fire Surge again. So what that will do is when that procs, it lowers their run energy, but it also adds the additional 5 damage over 6 seconds, which is 30 damage in total if they're out of run energy. Otherwise, it's 15, which will increase your likelihood of killing them with Fire Surge or a different spec like a Gmaul Rush or, you know, the actual Volatile Nightmare Staff, for example. So that's interesting. But you'll probably start off, if you wanted to, with 50 attack and 50 magic. So you can use the Ivan's staff. But you don't have to. You know, it does have a good spell, though. We'll see how we run that. The problem is the secondary staff that you choose, and the spell type also has to hit high, and Ivan's staff hits 25, so that's really helpful. Versus all the other ones without any enhancements are going to hit about 25 anyways on the normal spellbook. So let's do this. What are the strategies for this location here? Strategy is, at the Castle Wars, is to approach from the southwest. Fairy Ring teleport. Damn, my typing's really bad today. And right here is the teleport. It's good because there's more trees there, to be honest. This is why that is better, is because there's all these trees versus being over here. You only have one tree to fuck with. That's a dangerous place. Okay. I think our other friend here is like half working. So clock is still here. Okay, cool. Watchtower teleport to the agility shortcut. So, what is the actual escape? Is through the Watchtower quest dungeon to the east. Or bringing a rope to use to cross into the Ogre Island. You can also use trees.
Like, what is this dungeon about? Right south of Castle was. Ah, Smoke Devils. Okay.
Yeah. It is quite a long run, though. But I don't think we'll do Zogre Flesh Eaters. There's just very little point unless you're trying to create Sandfew serums, which don't sell very well, to be honest, until the end. So it's probably not worth it with all you could do otherwise. All right, next. Is there anything else that we can do to escape here?
I mean, you could try to go to the Smoke Devils, but I don't know if you need Slayer for that.
Probably. Hungry. Alright. Next one. Southwest of the combat training camp. I'm going to leave you guys with this while I use the restroom again. I seem to be drinking a lot. This one's kind of interesting. So I'll share the information that I already have, which is this. The necklace of passage to the outpost, the wilderness lever, followed by the lever pull to Ardoin from Edgeville kind of deal, right here. The necklace of passage will take you right here. Here's the outpost. Aye. The Ardoin teleport, which is right here. The spirit tree to the gnome stronghold. I don't know why I did that before the fishing.
I mean, that's pretty deep in there, but yeah.
Fishing guild is right here, so you can literally have a tab. I suppose it's because it's from a safe zone and it's bankable. Is there anything else you guys think about it? LIP. As far as approaching, strategy, escape, it might be helpful to be closer to the safe zone for the strategy. But then again, is there anything we could take advantage of? Go!
Damn.
I mean, they don't probably just run to the gnome stronghold.
Well, let's do something right quick. Go ahead. Gotta wait out this skull. Actually, just hopped on a DMM for a minute here. Found somebody. Pretty funny.
What'd you say, Clock? I'm back. What have we thought of?
I mean, aside from simply running to the gnome stronghold, I just don't know if you scald, you're just fucked. There's a lot of trees there.
I mean, you have to consider that you can freeze people off too, and it's singles. Right here, maybe. Wait, it says.
Yeah, but to enter this tower, you need a thieving level to get through the door. So
What is
you
it?
need to pick the lock, I guess.
What is it? It's actually southwest of the combat training camp, so it's right here.
Yeah, and there's pretty much nothing there, so I said probably just the gnome stronghold as a safe area.
Trees.
And trees.
Okay. You don't want to get caught here. Well, it's not multi, so it's not a bad deal, actually.
I mean, I don't know how much you want to gamble, but you theoretically can go into the combat training area. Like into the combat training camp, because you need the easy diary to get in there. No, you
It's just
don't.
Biohazard.
You need a quest. You need biohazard, right?
Yeah, biohazard.
Yeah. You could gamble on your opponent. Just
I feel like
What Clock
Don't
is
with this
complain.
saying
being a
is
thing,
to be able to attack the monsters through the fence.
I don't know if they'll allow that, to be honest. And if they do, then everybody's gonna start doing that, and it'll be completely useless because then it'll just be like everybody's on that side of the fence, and they can just kill each other over there too.
True that.
Yes.
It's not a bad idea. It's just I feel like that'd be like a day one strat thing where it's like, oh, the first breach is over here before anybody has a chance to do the RD diary, and as soon as they do, they'll have biohazard and all that kind of stuff done too. Because honestly, that cape's not bad. The RD cape, like a lot of people go for that early in DMM.
Yep. 100%.
About to open up this key, baby. See what we got in here.
Alright. So I don't really see any potential escapes, but what side should we approach it from?
Where exactly did you say it was gonna be?
Southwest of the combat training camp?
Oh,
Likely this whole area right here.
I mean, shit. That's pretty much just a freeze hug or gnome stronghold. Anything else doesn't really make too much sense.
No, not for escape, but for strategically
Oh,
resourcing an area.
I mean, you
This
could
is-
go
this is like-
from.
From my understanding, it's a regional breach, so it's probably going to be this whole area.
It could be outpost. So you have the outpost tele you can use as not quest locked at all. So we could just use the necklace to teleport up there.
We will well, is it a good idea? Well, depending on the members that we have, camping the outpost, because then we can attack people who come in or whatever, or...
We could, because that's far enough away from a
Actually-
bank to where you could actually get a kill, but
We should probably do this area between the outpost and the stronghold. Because if anybody's trying to run into the bank, you'll know that they're low on supplies.
yeah, in addition to that, well, yeah, if nobody's tagging them already, except like the main issue with that is people are going to be sticking on kills up until the gnome stronghold.
Okay.
Damn.
And the gnome stronghold. Okay. You call it freeze hugging?
Yeah, freeze hugging.
Tree freeze. Cute. Alright. So yeah, Varlamore is the last set for this whole thing. These last 4 breaches that we'll have to talk about. It looks like that's all open, expansive area, so there's not going to be much to talk about there. Alright. Here we are. First one is north of the Colossal Worm Remains in Varlamore. Multi-combat. And the scenic AVM Savannah. That's kind of interesting. There'll probably be multi-combat around this center mining area. But since it's multi-combat, it'll probably be here, actually. Unless they change the way multi renders inside of DMM. But since it literally says north, it's the highest anticipated to be here. I don't understand how it's a regional breach, though. Did they say that all of them will be regional? Let's see. Okay. It seems that all of them will be regional, actually, for the new ones. Just because they say we're adding in new region breaches, these types will rotate. So you'll have a regular breach followed by a region breach and so on. 1 breach per day. They'll be so common that we're adding in new breach locations is considerate that all of these will be region breaches because they'll have to use these all the time. So like literally a quarter of the breach locations will be in Varlamore, which means the fairy ring is getting that early is such a big play that I'm really happy we're doing that. Okay. Okay, the strategy for this one. It looks like it's a desert.
It's a savanna, I believe.
Yeah, but are any of these actual trees?
I have no idea.
find out.
Excuse me. Jeez.
Bless you.
Oh man, thank you. Ah, it's hitting me today.
I could find out real quick.
While you're doing some research, I'm going to share my screen real quick.
Why are the walls on the right there so thick?
Say again?
Right under the lake, the two buildings. Why do they have really thick walls?
You mean double layered?
Yep.
I don't know. I never did the quest. I'm gonna pause the recording while I do this research. We are recording.
Oh yeah. All right. So this, right? So when I click on him, I have to get dragged around to attack him, which means you can theoretically safe spot a person the same way.
Ah,
So all of these spiky bushes, they act as though it was a tree.
tree.
And there's some in multi, but there's also some up here to the north in singles where I'm at. So you can utilize these as well, and there's plenty of them.
Okay. Is that the only useful thing there?
What?
The other bushes don't count, just those, right?
No, just those.
Okay. That is helpful. Thank you. Okay, so back to this here video. It's actually been many hours since we were in this room doing this. The people have left, and I was able to refocus back on taking care of this. And I wanted to sum it up. I wanted to complete everything. You know, it takes a lot of energy to just be in these strategy sessions and be critically thinking with everybody, and especially when it's hot, it makes me exhausted. And so I had to take some time. You know, it's now night outside and it's cooler and I can work. And I had to rest. Now coming back to this, to be able to show you the information that I did procure, the information that I did finalize, yes. And I actually have to reopen the page because I closed it. And I'll share with you the new locations as well as where they are on the map. These are particularly with the Varlamore breach locations that we will be looking at, okay? I did add photos for these, so to no surprise, you will be able to see those here, okay? So, we're coming up at about 3 hours for this video. I don't want it to go over, but we'll do what we can, okay? So, Varlamore, right here, we have north of the Colossal Worm Remains in Varlamore. If you can view here on the minimap, it's in between the mine and the Colossal Worm Remains. It's a little hard to see, so I'll zoom in. In between the mine here and the Colossal Worm Remains are these 3 spiky bushes. 1, 2, 3. And the spiky bushes are something that basically function as a tree. Same would be this tree here. You can't shoot through it or over it, and so you have to run around in order to attack from a ranged position and then move back. So that means no NPCs on the other end of these spiky bushes are going to be able to hit you unless if, you know, they're a one-tile NPC and they just walk right up to you and smack you in melee distance if they use a melee attack. So you can actually utilize these 3 spiky bushes, which would probably be the best for midfield but not too deep in. But it could very well potentially be deep in, so you might want to use these 2. This one might not work as you would expect, but it could be helpful for drawing monsters into this circle here. And then there's all these other spiky bushes over here, which would be useful. So this is helpful. It's just, it may be harder to drag monsters this way, and I don't think they'll be spawning here because this whole area seems to be much more open. As you can see, there's no spiky bushes. And if they spawn in here, then they'll have trouble pathing. So you're probably going to have to drag them from the east to the west or to the northwest, somewhere around here. And so locking down this area with these 6 spiky bushes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and basically keeping them in this center area is basically what looks to be the best thing. And everybody just coming around and shooting them, shooting them, shooting them, shooting them. I think that would kind of be the best way to go with this. As far as escapes, you want to run north into singles area here. As you can see, it's a multi-combat zone here, but somewhere around here, there's a singles line, and you just use the trees to freeze hug so that you can escape there, okay? So that should be the strategy for this. Use the spiky bush. Okay. Next is this. And by the way, these are not certain locations, so it's speculative whether or not this actually works. But the spiky bushes are basically going to be the premise for everything we do here. As you can see, there are plenty of spiky bushes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's plenty in this photo. These will probably be the most useful, as well as potentially these, because it's next to a tree. But when you start getting around here, it could be useful to be in the center, yes. So maybe hugging these trees here in the center. It'll depend. We'll have to play through it and see how it works. But that will also be used as the escape, since it is a single zone. Escapes in all of these Varlamore locations are literally going to be freeze hugging and using those trees or spiky bushes, okay? And this is the one that is east of the Hunter Guild. Okay. So the Ortis Farm is actually on the map, something you can't quite see, but it's right here. And so this is northwest of the Ortis Farm, which basically signifies that it could be beyond this water barrier, this dam, whatever you want to call it. And if it is, then we could use this over here. And this is interesting because you have this whole corner, which is open running area, and then you can use it, you know, to fight the monsters. This is a tree, it's not a bush. And so you can literally attack the monsters and hold them right here, hold them hostage, and literally have a safe spot completely behind all of this, which is interesting. But it also looks like it won't be spawned much here. If there are, it could, because it's a whole region location, right? Instead of a one location thing, which would make that possible. But if not, if it's just this whole northwestern area right here, then conquering this spot in the middle, but also off to the side where you'll have less trouble with monsters over here, is probably the best. And so you can attack them from all of these angles and bring them in close to you if you wanted to, and you'd still have some sense of safety, like running around this tree if you brought it over here, right? So this is another optimal location. As far as right here, this one I have too many images. There's too many things you can do. And so here's where the most trees are. This is basically southeast of the Outer Fortress. Outer Fortress on the map is this area right here, okay? So it's basically this path into this entrance. This is Outer Fortress. And so you have all this southeast, which is really helpful to have. But this is quite distant from that spot, so maybe you won't have it this far. Maybe you will. It's a regional breach. But either way, you have about 2 to 3 locations. This one is the furthest south. This, and obviously there's a lot of trees and spiky bushes that you can take advantage of. It's probably the best coverage next to the antelopes here. Sunlight antelopes. And over here you have a couple trees that could be useful for the monsters being on the eastern side. And over here you also have the furthest eastern side by the coastline, some trees that you can, and spiky bushes that you can utilize as well. Not that many. You only see 1 or 2 spiky bushes here. So this could be helpful. As you can see, these are the trees over here on the southern side. On the far western side, you can see it right here in this image. And then here's the far eastern side. Anything in the middle is kind of dangerous territory, I would imagine. So you don't want to be there, especially if, you know, there are other PKers around as well. You want to hug the outside entrances. And so that's all for the new breach locations. And we also have the old ones. But as far as this goes, this is what we have, okay? So hopefully that was a really helpful guide for you to go through. Let me just overview again where they spawn. It'll be the north right here, somewhere in this region of the Colossal Worm Remains, east of the Hunter Guild, which the photo was taken right here by the Cabbage Patch. And then somewhere around here, southeast Fortis is what it looked like. So Fortis, let me just check. Southeast of Outer Fortress, yeah. And this is Outer Fortress right here. So here's that one spot, here's the second spot, here's the third spot, somewhere around here. And then over here you have right here these trees, and then right here these trees over here. Actually, it might be right here. Those trees. It depends. I'm not quite certain, but that's basically it for the strategy on the new places. And the best escapes for these Varlamore ones are really going to be tree hugging, freezing and hugging the trees or spiky bushes. Hopefully this is a helpful guide and you got something from it for the old locations that we reviewed and added some escapes to, and the new ones that we just did too. Okay, super. Well, looking forward to you. So excited for DMM. Hopefully we all are so aware and collaborate well together. Thank you. That is all. Continue being well and keep taking care of the world, okay?